counts. Yes, I'm just basically saying there should be. We should.
Hello. Can everybody hear us?
Hello.
So, hello, Ruben. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me, Bruce.
Hello.
It's another crazy Friday night with a buttload of shit that's been going on this week, especially today. So I figured we'd talk about, I named the show Electile Dysfunction because of all the, the election fraud going. They were in court the same time that Trump is being indicted down the street, a couple miles down the road. So it's like, this is just absolutely crazy. But let me see who's been here in this space. Oh, Copper Cotton, say hello. Thank you for coming. Good dick pun from Janet. Yeah, I'm sure I'll do something. And then say hi to Six Nations. Hey, thank you for showing up. And let's see if anybody else is in here or not. Oh, there's Bruce. Hey, Bruce. He's in here now. Obi-san. Hi. Thank you for coming. Appreciate it. Oh, hi, Medi. Let me know if you want me to send you a link. The link's in our DM on X. So if you want to click on that, you can join us. But yeah, I think that's everybody. So great. Thank you very much. So how has your week been going so far, Ruben?
So far, so good. It's been, a little off a bit, just a little. Maybe it's the heat or something, but I've been, a little weaker than usual. But I've been going to the gym today. I didn't go, but I've been feeling better and continuing to push forward. So I'm doing more things to change my life, and I'm here. I'm very glad to be here on a Friday night shit show.
Well, good. Thank you. I'm glad you could join me. And how about you, Bruce? How was your day?
This week has sucked a lot. This entire week has sucked a large, fat cock-a-doodle-doo, and it's been one of those weeks, and it will continue to be that way for the next week because we had a casualty of equipment at my job, so we're trying to figure out, for logistics' sake, who can get part quickest to us so we can get back going on things. We do have alternate means of getting things done, but my boss is hesitant because he's like, I don't want to have to call up the insurance company and have him press a button and take 30 minutes to turn on the insurance for that other equipment. I'd rather see if we could get it taken care of within a day or two, just have you get underneath the truck and kind of fix it yourself. Well, I can. I need tools, and I do not have them. There's places called truck shops, mechanic shops, and they do this for a living, and they have the tools that I need if I was to do this, and I do not have the investment for that. That's them, and so we're arguing about that past couple of days. And
so your boss wanted you to fix something, but he didn't give you the tools to fix it.
You'll find out that a lot of times in South Texas, the wrong tool for any given job is often applied. And I've been complaining about maintenance budgets for the past 3 years. We know how this story ends. The story ends with the equipment breaking and somebody getting upset and yelling. And I'm like, right here in the journal, the weekly journal that I have, here's the items that were failing. And on the days where we receive parts, you can see where I receive parts. And on the days where I have time to go fix things, I can actually document when I fix something, when something happens. John has forced me to adopt a high priority paper trail. That way we understand what's going on, and the boss is frustrated. So anyway, that happens. It could be much worse. I could have gotten hurt.
Well, I'm glad you didn't get hurt or passed out from the heat.
Yeah, 100 degree days. We did have Tuesday. It dropped down to 92 degrees. For the first time in my apartment, it was under 75 degrees. It was nice.
Well, it's been not too bad here. It's been kind of hectic. Today, I got a phone call. Somebody needed some help because they had ran out of gas, and they wanted to know if I could just bring them a little bit to top them up, get them enough so they can get to the gas station. But they had died as soon as they pulled into the parking lot, right in the opening of the parking lot for a restaurant. And they were blocking it basically. So it was really hard to get around. So I was on my way to the gym. So I got my can, put it in the car, and then I went and to their place. And they had one of those no cap gas tanks or whatever, where you open it and there's no cap on it. So I tried to take the thing and stick it in there, and it won't let me put gas in. It's pouring all over the front of me, all over my shoes and everything. So finally I saw the little sticker inside the door of the little thing you open, and it says you have to have a funnel, stuck down in there to pour the gas into. So then I had to leave and go to the Walmart and get one of those little packages of funnels and brought it back. But I couldn't stick it down in there because you had to have a special kind of funnel, to go down in there. And I'm like, well, I don't know where it is. And she said, well, I'm too hot. She'd been sitting in the hot car for like 45 minutes, waiting for me to get there and then go get the funnel.
They stalled out at the entrance of a gas station restaurant, and you have two ladies.
There was no gas station. It was just a restaurant.
Okay, so nobody was able to help you push it into a parking lot.
No, because we couldn't get it in neutral. It died on her, and she was stuck. So, and there's three guys drove by, didn't help us, didn't offer to help or anything. And then I got back and I was trying to put the funnel in. I was spilling gas everywhere. So half that little thing, the little, I don't know how big that is, but that size, was already spilled all over the ground. In that little cup there underneath where you put the gas in, it's filled with gas. So I was like, I was getting really pissed, and I was sweating to death. And finally, this lady pulls in. She's like, "Can you just move that vehicle out of the way?" Like they're real sneering. I said, "No, we can't. We wouldn't be sitting here in the middle of the traffic if we could." She was real rude. I said, "Just go around," like that to her. And so finally, a guy came out of the restaurant, and he came over and he pushed this button down and held it while I crammed the funnel in. And once he did that, then I was able to pour the other gas in. So once we did that, and gave her enough so she could, drive down the street. But it was just a pain in the butt. So then I had to go back home, which is miles, because I'm out in the boonies. Then nobody even delivers to my house. I can't even order pizza or anything. I'm so far away from town. So I had to go back home, take a shower, and then go back to town and go to the gym. But I did a good thing.
You pushed a car and you don't classify that as a workout.
No, not the same thing. It's not the same thing.
I disagree.
I didn't push a car. We couldn't push it. Remember, it wouldn't budge. I just got covered with gas. I mean, I still feel like, my clothes still smell like it. I washed them when I got home, but Bush is here. Bush showed up. Hi, Bush. He says, "I'll make me pizza." Yeah, you'd have to go to my house and make it because you can't deliver it out here. They won't deliver. But so
you raise it for 24 hours, Bush. Get that
raise the dough. Got to raise the dough.
At least raise it overnight. It gets a nice maturity overnight.
Jen.
But yeah. Do you want to open up the one about the stores prices?
I can open them up, but my camera stopped working for some reason.
Oh, it did? Oh, it's all right. Oh, okay. Bruce, can you do it for me?
I can do it. I can still do it, but I can't. You can't see me now. Which one do you want me to show first?
I wanted to show. Oh, that's right. You can do that. The very first one, I put them in order in the private chat if you don't mind.
Okay, the store owner prices.
Yeah, the store owner prices. Yeah,
Gotcha.
I think that's a funny one.
For you, I will do that for you.
I don't know if you guys have seen it or not, but I think it's pretty good. This is a smart man, and this is in I think it's in California, where they're having all the people that come in and they steal, as long as they steal under a certain amount of money, under $900 or something, they don't arrest them, right? So this store owner has come up with a way to be able to get around that. He sells everything in his store. He's priced everything at $951.
Oh my gosh.
But at the front of the store, he has coupons. So you take the coupon and you go up to the register with it, and you get the discount. So it's a regular price, but everything in the store is priced $951. Isn't that smart?
So, well, it's smart, but it's basically it's the Trump argument per se. Think about it, because I'll go back to the thing that Dave Chappelle mentioned about Trump, that Trump knows the law. So the law is 950. He knows that he's taking the advantage of the law, making everything the higher price. So that's the whole idea. He is not a slave to the system. He's trying to work around it, and that's what creative people do. Smart people do that.
I thought it was genius. I mean, instead of just standing there and having customers in line, like I said, you're standing in line, you got 3 items in a little basket at CVS pharmacy, some nose spray, some eye drops and something, maybe a Coke or whatever, right? And you're in line with 3 other people. And here comes these 7 or 8 people with garbage bags, and they're filling their garbage bags up, and then they're walking right past you and shoving you out of the way. And you're going to stand there and pay an added fee to all of the stuff that you're buying, because you got to pay for all that shit they just stole.
Right.
So I just think this guy's a genius. That's why I wanted to bring him up, because it's actually something good to talk about in our story. But yeah, okay. So now we can do this next one, which is the East Palestine update.
Yes,
I thought that was another thing, because they're always telling us how the government cares about its people, and they're always trying to do things. So I thought this was a pretty good one for everybody to talk about, look into it. So yeah, it's very interesting. So can we play it? Play the video so people can see it.
Look at it. It's all
wait, sorry. Making sure
they went up to the water and she threw something in it. She wants you to see. The water looks normal, right? But watch what happens when she throws this stone in there.
wow.
You see that?
Look
So
at
that's
that.
all the
It's all in the
nasty
bottom of
shit
the creek bed.
in the water. That's in the water still that people are drinking.
Yeah.
This makes me furious.
And they're watering their plants, their animals, or cows, and the deer and the rabbits and all the other animals that are drinking that. So what do you think is going to happen in 5 years?
Cancer. Lots and lots of cancer.
Isn't that bullshit?
But this goes to something that it's all a charade. It's all a charade. Just think about it. I think now they're that evil and vindictive to say, okay, we had a spill. We'll just, we'll cover it up right now. The same old shindig. If someone does all the work and it gets a movie comes out of it, a book, they plan this shit out. They basically want the chaos to occur, and they bet on it. Yep. Don't tell me there are people out there that were basically saying let's do the Dylan Mulvaney thing and make money off it. Let's short all of Budweiser, because that we're going to hit all of the distributors. I've said this before. That's what I'm saying. They plan it all out. Everything goes. And
but think about it too. It's like hand in hand with the pharmaceutical companies.
Yes.
Because all the people, okay, not just for the people. What's the next number one most money is spent on in the United States besides your children, your dogs and kitty cats, right? So when you've got a cat that's acting all weird and they're losing their hair or they're throwing up all the time or they have diarrhea because they're going out and they're eating mice and birds and other animals that are eating that shit.
Yes.
Right. And your dog's the same thing. Your dog is rolling on a dead mole or a bird because you know how dogs love doing that. Right. And they're all getting sick. So the people are getting sick and the animals are getting sick and the people are spending all their money on the pharmaceuticals to try to feel better from something that if they'd went in there and cleaned it up the way they were supposed to in the begin with, who knows what would have happened.
Everything's a data point. Everything can come out. You gamble it or right on it or not. But the big thing right now when it comes to the idea influence, everything's influence. Everything's always been influence. Everything's always been a show, but it's a show that's well choreographed. And I don't want to play this show. It could be easy enough to basically say like, hey, let's just, let's do the TikTok. Let's celebrate this because again, it's like makes money off of it. Let's do everything, because again, let's woke is where everything is. And then look what they gave him. Let's do it. But then you lose your authenticity, your integrity of an individualist of who you are. And you're not going to do that. Because again, I don't care if Bud Light did set up with thing with Dylan Mulvaney. That again, but then you do that with everybody, this person, any like you celebrate everybody. You celebrate Trump. You celebrate, the Riley Gaines. You celebrate.
See, I didn't have any problem with the Dylan guy either, dressing up like a woman. Okay, but I'm a woman, okay? And when I go work out, I have real boobs, okay? So when I'm working out, I need to wear a good sports bra or whatever that holds everything there. So when I'm doing my exercises, they're not flopping all around and it hurts. Just like you guys, I'm sure your stuff bounces around and it can hurt too if you're doing certain exercises and stuff, right? So you'd want to wear you'd want to wear the right underwear and underclothes for support. So when they have Dylan that doesn't even have any boobs wearing a sports bra in a commercial for women, why is that? Why do they think that I'm going to run out and buy that bra because a man is wearing it when I'm a woman? You see what I mean? To me, that just was stupid. I just don't. It didn't make any sense to have a man selling women's underwear. I mean, that whole thing was just stupidity. I thought they didn't think about it at all. Somebody had a crush on this guy and wanted to make a star out of him, using him in their ads or something. That's the only thing that makes sense.
I can't imagine anybody having a crush on Dylan Mulvaney. I really can't. I saw the guy on, what was that, the Ellen DeGeneres show? And he was dancing around like a little puppet and just staring right at the camera, trying to like just make eye fuck noises with his eyes with the audience at home, because he's like trying to get some sort of hypnotic glare going between you and the viewer. And he was just disturbing. It's disturbing to watch him work. And I don't know where anybody has ever thought like, yeah, that guy knows my struggle. He knows that I bleed for 4.5, 5 days at a time every month. He knows exactly what I'm going through. That little shit still has a dick, and it still gets hard in the morning. He's never had a fucking treatment to get him on his way to having the clam.
But see, he wants to keep it. Okay, he wants to keep it because he's not really a transsexual. Okay, a real transsexual, when they're diagnosed, they have a dysphoria that when they look at themselves in the mirror, they think they don't look, they're not it doesn't fit who they are in their mind.
I know.
Okay?
I read the Yellow Page review.
And he's not. He's pretending to be something to pervert and hurt real people that have that psychosis. And that's wrong. I don't know why anyone wants to hurt other people that really are transsexuals. Okay.
Because it makes money.
Wrong. Yeah. That's it. That's the only reason. And to me, that's wrong. And I feel bad for all the real transsexuals that are trying to get treatment. And now they're making everybody hate them. But a real transsexual doesn't come up and say, guess what? I'm a transsexual. They just live that way. They are that person. They go to work, they get their jobs. I know a few that are real transsexuals. And if I went to a restaurant with one of them's a guy and another one's a woman, no one would know they weren't a guy or a woman because they don't act like they're not that.
It's
They've
all
been
about
that way for
propaganda
years.
and control. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's been like
So
this
I don't
for a
know. I
long
just think it's
time.
wrong. I just think it's wrong what the government is forcing and our children. Our children are having all kinds of problems because they don't understand what's going on, because they're trying to teach them something. They're not even had puberty yet, and they're trying to tell them,
Here,
oh,
he-
you like boys' toys, so you must be a boy. I was a tomboy, and look at me. I'm a girl, and I like boys.
now,
Okay.
Janet,
I'm
here,
thankful that my mom did not have someone like that telling her that she needs to become a guy because she's a
right,
guy and I'm
right.
not.
But
So, you know,
here's what's scary, okay? And we can all do this together in your mind. Very, very quick exercise. Just
mhm.
think about, close your eyes, think about your life, and then remember when you were 10 years old, and then the happy memories you had at 10. If you had bad memories, then but again, the childish, the way that things were when you were 10 years old. Now, take your same frame of you being 10 years old, and imagine yourself at 10 today. How would things be so different to you based upon what you've already seen? They want a crisis of conscience and soul. They want control. It's all it is. It's basically to dismantle everything.
But it's also tied in with the pharmaceutical companies.
Yeah,
Just like I
yeah.
said, they
Because
want
that's a
a
cycle.
kid tells their teacher at 11 years old in some states and says, I think I want to be a boy. Okay. So the teacher will say, well, don't tell your parents, but we will order you some medicine, blah, blah, blah. They help you feel like a boy. And so they order them drugs to start taking hormones
Right.
or hormone blockers. So the little girls' boobies will slow down their boob growth. It'll stop them from having a period. And we don't know. It's going to be 20 years at least before we're going to find out the after effects for all these kids that were on these drugs.
Right. But it's more
Whether it's going
insidious
to make
than
them
that.
sterile or not,
Yeah, but it's more insidious than that because I think I've been seeing something disturbing. Even though I have Brave on, I do see disturbing things that pop up on the phone or out of the corner of my eye because I block all the ads. But this Ozempic drug for weight loss is dangerous too because again, the pharmaceuticals want you to be boosted. They want you to take drugs, and whenever I go out, at the workout club, I've been not listening, but seeing commercials, and every other commercials about ask your doctor about this, ask your doctor about that. They want you medicated, drugged, and just compliant.
Mm-hmm.
And
They
it's
want you drugged
everything.
up, basically.
Yeah,
I mean,
and right,
you can
and
walk around and see some of these cities in certain areas. It's like it's zombie world. It looks like it's a set of a zombie movie because these people are hunched over, walking around, bumping into stuff, and there's garbage and stuff just all over the streets. It almost looks like Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome or something.
Yeah,
I mean,
but that's what they
bad.
want again. That's what they're going to want to have. Because again,
Mhm.
as I'm saying, if you go back to 1968 or 60, let's say 65, because that's right now we're at 65 right now. I'm sorry,
Mhm.
67. 68 is next year, 2024. To repeat the same summer of violence, the election happens again. The Democrats are going to be back in Chicago again, so it's even more of a place of who's going to be. You're going to have anti, you're going to have Trump thing, you have this and that. We haven't seen anything yet. Things can still go wrong. We're not even at the end of the year, and there could be no bigger war, more indictments, more of this, more. It's basically ripping us apart at our core, and I don't like it.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's a few things that we're going to look at later tonight on the show that is giving me signs of hope that maybe something good's coming from the stupidity of this government that we have. But go ahead and bring up the third one, the global warming destroyed in 60 seconds.
Yep.
I love that one. So this one's a good one too. If you don't mind bringing that up for me.
No, of course.
Thank you.
I'm always here.
How you doing, sir?
It's my favorite thing to do.
Our favorite polar bears in chat.
Oh, really? I Snortopoopas Cuber. Thank you for coming. So nice to see you. Haven't seen you in forever. Hi.
Yes, always good to have good people around.
I know it is. But yeah, I saw this on Twitter and I was like, oh my God, this guy is freaking phenomenal. So I wanted to share it. But
Okay,
it's a go ahead and turn it on. I'm not that worried about. And
Okay.
he doesn't say anything bad.
You've all heard the news. Climate change is destroying your future. Carbon dioxide is accumulating in the atmosphere. Global warming is killing the Great Barrier Reef. But there's more to this story. Over the last decade, total global emissions declined. Deaths from natural disasters have diminished to a few hundred a year in the United States, even as the global population quadrupled over the last century. They've declined internationally by over 90%. The Great Barrier Reef recorded the highest amount of coral in 36 years, and maybe longer, because that's the amount of time that we've been studying and measuring. How come nobody is saying that? You've all heard the news. It is destroying.
So there you go. So what do you think about that?
Well, I've already known all this crap because again,
me too. But the thing is, it's finally people are starting to say it in public. People are starting to show it with science that it's all bullshit. This is a natural phenomenon. When I remember when I was a kid, my dad would make me watch all these documentaries and stuff because he was a jungle survival instructor. But he showed me one which I thought was what taught me that there's no such thing as this bullshit that they're trying to push on us. Is they had these giant drills and they were in Antarctica and they dug really deep into the ice and they'd bring up this giant core samples, right? And they're all just lined through it and stuff. And then they take samples from it and show that we've gone through global warming and then ice age, then global warming and then ice age. It's just a natural thing because our Earth spins and we have molten center, which moves our planet. All our Earth is moving. That's why we have volcanoes and we have all that. And as long as it keeps doing that, we will keep rejuvenating, right? But it's when we stop having earthquakes and stuff, that's when we're going to have to start worrying because that means that our core is getting cold. And
there's real evidence that, there has been multiple, catastrophes throughout the 5 major ones, but there is also evidence of advanced, not advanced, but, a large amount of activity on a global scale 55 million years ago.
Yeah.
And that is basically, I think that is the fabled, lost civilization that long ago. It's been a lot longer, not a million, not a couple million, like 55 million. It's been a while.
I'm a new Earth believer. We might have a planet that's about 30,000 years old because I can't. Maybe science throws out big numbers because when they came up with the term dinosaur, science was feeling very powerful, and they said, "Oh, look, we've got fossils, and these items here, these are from what's a good measurement of time? Millions of years ago." And they didn't really know what they were talking about in the 1800s, and they first started discovering the iguanodon and all the other stuff that they said they discovered. But if the Earth is literally as old as it is, most of our mountain ranges would be a lot more rounded, not have such sharp angles. I mean, I've been in the Rockies quite a bit, and
they like with through wind and rain and
the Grand
sandstorms
Canyon
and
has
stuff like
very
that.
Sharp, very sharp bits of erosion on it. Now, if you guys want to, debate me on that, we could probably do that on a different stream and such. But I just don't believe we're millions of years old, and I don't believe the science. And I'm not a climate denier, but I think
that makes sense, Bruce. Because remember when you were little that they thought dinosaurs that had died in the earth or whatever, and that's what made oil. Okay, and now they've proven that that's not the facts. that oil didn't necessarily come from dinosaurs rotting or changing or whatever. It's the changing of the rocks and stuff.
Yep.
So see, we're still learning things. There's stuff at the bottom of the ocean that we've never seen or touched or been able to study. So
I don't want to sound like a Gaia adherent because I'm not, but I consider oil to be closest to Earth's blood as we could probably understand it.
I think it's a byproduct.
It's a byproduct.
It's natural. It's all natural.
Yeah, and it will keep reappearing. It may need time for it to generate, but we capped wells 30 years ago, and 10 years ago, those wells were half or 3/4 full. And we keep doing that, and that's something that oil companies are talking about behind closed doors. That's what you hear the engineers kind of going, well, wait, I heard this in college. And the geologist says, yeah, this is actually your field study, and you're going to find a lot of that shit just doesn't apply. And you have that happen a lot. And you have, I mean, when we did fracking, the main portion I did in my last 2 years of fracking was we were going back to old wells that had not been tapped in over 10 years. And here they are, ready to go. They're under pressure. So it's just how that works. I don't want to say the Earth is an organism, but on a basic level, I actually feel it is.
Well, it is. We have a living planet. Our planet changes every single day. Somehow, everything is moving. The Earth spins, the land moves, the oceans move. They go in, out, high tide, low tide. The whole thing is constantly in motion because it is alive. We have a living planet. We already know what Mars looks like. That's a dead planet. That's a planet that's not growing. It's not changing. The only thing that changes is the weather. Sorry, what?
I say don't get me started on Mars, because when I look at it, I can see it looks like blast marks. It looks like areas where like there was something there, but something else wiped it clean. If you understand what I'm saying, like before we were a thing, there might have been something there. I'm not saying there was something of value there, but like there might have been like a Sheboygan or a Scranton, and then somebody else got pissed off and they wiped it away. And I know that sounds kind of scary for you people that.
Well, no, that makes sense because a lot of people have been saying that. Lots of people have saying that they think there was life on Mars and stuff like that. And one day when we're able to figure out a way to get there, because we got to figure out a new way to get there because the old way is gone. Nobody knows where it is because nobody's left alive, except for cave drawings and things like that, or carvings and things like that we have. Because I do believe it might have just been us. We evolved to a certain degree and then we de-evolved, like we seem to be happening right now. You know what I mean? Where wars end up destroying the places that people live, and the ocean moves over it or whatever, and another place is opened up and people go there. You see what I mean? So we don't know for sure because nobody's been around long enough. And how long have we been collecting actual, books and scrolls and things like that? It's really not that long if you think about it. So that's the only real way we have of knowing what we had in the past. We do have science, and we're learning and evolving on that to learn from it, but we're still not there. I mean, we still don't know everything, and I don't think we ever will. I really don't. As long as the Earth is constantly changing, it's impossible to know. That's how I see it. I mean, doesn't mean I'm right, but that's how I'm looking at it. But, okay, now let's see what was the next one.
With that, I mean,
DeSantis.
Yeah, the DeSantis sexy boots. Did you guys see that?
No.
Oh my God, it's hilarious. Because he's doing his tour. Or he's driving around in his bus. Because he's wanting to be president of the United States, and he's going to small towns and doing different things. But there you go. You can watch this. Look at this. He got off his bus. Yeah, it's just a picture someone took of him, but he's wearing cowboy boots. Or his whatever boots you want to call them, the ones that look like
yeah, you can barely. I'm trying to zoom in.
Yeah, but it's just funny. Look what he's wearing, and he's playing baseball with this little group of people, showing how he's a down to earth kind of man. I just thought it was funny. I just wanted everybody to see his boots, his sexy boots he's wearing.
Yeah, but okay, never mind. The ball looks like it's about to hit him.
Well, yeah, someone's throwing the ball at him. I don't know if he hits it or not, but I just thought that was hilarious. The whole this guy he just gets under my nerves. I do not like this man, and every single day that goes by, I know a lot of people are going to get mad at me for that, but if he ends up getting the nomination or whatever, I guess I'll have to vote for him. I'll do it reluctantly because I don't want another 4 years of what we have right now, because I don't think we can survive it if we even get to have an election. But the thing is, this guy scares the shit out of me. He doesn't. Did you guys watch the debate or some of the debate or any of the debate at all?
Highlight reels of the debate.
Highlights.
Did you see the one question when they asked him about if Trump gets the nomination, what he would do? The one guy, V-neck, is that how you say his last name? He raised his hand right away. Videk or whatever. Yeah. But you saw the DeSantis and who was it? Was it Pence? And they looked at each other and looked around to see whether they should raise their hand. Is that presidential? That you have to see what other people are doing before you make a decision?
I don't value Pence. Where the fuck?
Me either. That's what I'm saying.
I don't.
We're not presidential material.
I liked him when he was just shut up and he looked like Ray Spannon from Johnny Quest. When he looks good in a suit and he just shuts the fuck up, he's all right. When he starts talking, he's bad. And he talks like a fucking globalist.
Mm-hmm. He is a globalist. That's the thing. They're globalists.
And then you got DeSantis there wanting the affirmation. Well, he lives in my state. I do want him to be free so he can pay taxes or buy cigarettes or whatever he does. Mm-hmm. But I don't really see DeSantis getting far with that, because Vivek, in my opinion, he got the most props from America that watched it, because he kind of smacked down Pence a little bit, and then he tried getting Jelly, or Jello as I call him. That's Chris Christie for you people. He tried getting Jello to come over and give him a hug, and Christie wasn't having it. Come on, Patty, come here, I'll give you a hug. And he wouldn't do it. And I really do like Vivek, because he's one, he's practicing his game. Mm-hmm. When he goes home, he does spend his time rehearsing and going over the various bullshit quips that he could do. That way, whenever somebody says a smart ass thing, he's got 30 options of funny things that'll fall out of his head, and he'll say them right there on camera. He's good with that. He's very quick on his feet. He's a verbal dancer. But
he's exactly. He's saying the right things, which I want to know. I want to hope that's authentic. Saying the right things.
I think it is, because the guy was 18.
He seems natural at it.
Right. I feel the same way. I do the same thing, where I talk, You know me. I'll say again. I've been bet on Twitter many times. I'll say what I say. Do
you want me to try to find Vivek's his graduation speech from high school?
Sure, if you can find it, if you think we can play it. But the thing is that I only got to see little clips here and there, because I watched Trump talk with Tucker. That's what I watched. But the thing is that if you're sitting in a chair behind a desk and someone comes in and says, China's shooting missiles at us, and the guy goes, what should we do? Bring in the group. You see what I mean? And he has to get everybody's approval and ask everybody questions, instead of looking at his general and saying, what do you think we should do? And his general says, we should kick some ass. And he'll say, let's do it. Okay, that's it. That's how fast it should. You shouldn't have to look around the room and see, should I raise my hand? That is not presidential. That took both of them out for me, period.
Right.
They definitely didn't win that debate from some of the dumb shit that the answers that they gave. It was pitiful, I thought. Vivek, is that how you say his name?
Vivek.
Okay. He was to me, the only one on the stage that I would even accept to be on the ticket. You know what I'm saying?
He looked bad. The only time he looked bad was when Nikki Haley was scolding him for being naive. And Vivek's not going to have a world knowledge like she does. Now, I'm not
No.
going to say anything else glowing about her because she's another fucking globalist.
Yep.
She's somebody,
and she doesn't like the Second Amendment very much either.
she's not a person to me.
Mm-mm.
In my head, she's a lizard. Okay, she's like one of those things off of V series where if you go over there and you grab her skin, it peels off, and look, it's Diana. It's the leader of the lizard people,
Yep.
and she's not somebody I trust.
Mm-mm. I don't really trust her either. And people think that because I say that, well, some women that I'm against her because she's a woman. I'm like, I'm a woman, and if I ask, and hey, now Carrie Lake, I put her in that group. She beats all those people, because just listening to her and listening to what she has to say and things like that, to me, and she's not even really as experienced as some of them, but she seems to know more about a lot of things.
Carrie Lake is on my forgiveness sex list. Okay, if Carrie Lake is laying down in my abode, mostly naked, I'm going to do what a man would do, and I would apologize. I would expect my wife to be like, "Listen, I'm sorry. I fell in a vagina, and I'm so sorry." And I'll make funny faces to look like I've got, what is
Beg
that?
for
The infidelity
forgiveness.
face. I'll do the wiener look.
Oh no, God.
Whenever he got caught cheat on Huma, and then you make that face like, "Oh, I'm biting my lower lip. This is gonna hurt my IRA, my retirement," and you make the stupid face, and you're like, "I'm sorry, I had sex with something I really enjoy," because Carrie Lake looks like somebody that would just be great as like a wonderful partner. There's a great energy about her, both professionally and personally, and I just like, that's my political crush. It used to be Sarah Palin. Sarah Palin's aging out of it. She's getting around 55, 60, and she's not looking like she did when she was 44 next to John McCain, and she should have strangled that old fuck. But it is what it is. But I really do like Carrie Lake. Carrie Lake is just a doll.
Yeah, and John and the convicted guy, it's in the chat with Woody the Woodpecker picture. It's John.
Yes, sir.
That's how I know him. He says Sarah Huckabee's the only one that can be trusted. Now, I do trust Sarah Huckabee, but right now she's the governor of Arkansas, and I do not want her to leave to try to become vice president or whatever, if she's asked or whatever.
Wait. If Trump cued her for Veep, you would say no?
No, I would accept it. I'm saying my feelings. I'm saying I don't want her to lose her. But if she was asked by him to run as his VP, I would be rooting her on because she deserves it. She's done a great job. She's a wonderful mom. She's a wonderful wife. I've talked to her and her husband many times, and she's good with her kids. And I love her parents. They're really good people, and I would be for 100%. But I feel the same way about Carrie Lake. If she was asked to be the VP, I'd like her too. Now, I don't think that Carrie Lake has as much under her belt as Sarah Huckabee does, because I think Sarah Huckabee has spent the 2 years, I guess, under Trump, up at the White House and seeing the ins and out of daily life at the White House and stuff. So I think she would have a little more of a good view and know how to handle things compared to Carrie Lake, because she'd be a young pup or whatever. But I still think she could handle it. I think she's as tough as nails, and I think that I can trust her to follow Trump's lead. Same as Sarah Huckabee. I feel the same way about her, but I feel the same way about my Giuliani. Okay, even though Giuliani is I think a year older than Biden, or a year younger than Biden, something like that. But he's definitely not Biden. But you know what I'm saying? There's a lot to choose from when it comes to experience, I think, for somebody that might be able to run, for the presidential or VP position for our country. Because, man, I'm telling you, we need something. We need a huge a cattle prod crammed in there somewhere and get things going, get something changed, because we are going downhill fast. I just don't know if we're going to make it to November. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm really worried that our dollar's going to cave in, and I don't know, we're going to be wide open for takeover from another country.
Yeah, that's why I want to know. I want to go somewhere safe and good. I don't know where to go. Just trying to figure it out.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I started prepping. Is because right before Donald Trump decided to run, I was already going, God, we're in some deep shit. I mean, things are just getting worse, and it's out there does not look good. The people that they were talking about bringing in, all these people. Now, I liked Ben Carson. I really liked him, but I just thought he was just too nice a guy. He was so quiet and kind. I just loved him. I still love him. He's a wonderful husband. He treats his wife so good. He just seems like a wonderful man with great morals, but I just didn't see him grabbing anyone else's balls and saying, America first,
Right.
that type of thing. So we needed Trump, and he did a great job. He's proven it. He's already proven it.
And the thing
He
is
did what he did.
I think that a Lake vice presidency would be like a shot behind, because again, you want the VP to be a bulldog, and Kerry likes a bulldog.
Yeah.
And that's the whole idea. Basically, it's like, and people are going
Throw
to
her some meat.
the media will hate her, but she's going to eat it all up. And again, it's because she knows what's going to, again, she knows how to like, my God, the way she takes down CNN all the time, the two famous quotes she did.
Is you got Kerry Lake and Trump, both would feel like their future was taken from them, but not because they lost, but because it was taken.
Yes.
It was stolen from them. They both have that as a bond. And I think that's one reason why they understand each other. They can look at each other and have conversations way different than what we would understand. And the way that they handle things is a lot. She's a female Trump, basically.
Here's the thing that I'm sorry to interrupt you. Here's the thing I
right.
see.
Go ahead.
With the vice presidential debate that occurred, not the presidential debate for GOP, the only person up there I trust is Vivek.
Mm-hmm.
So then basically he would either he would accept a cabinet position, or doing something, again, a rising star, and he gets his chops. If he doesn't want to do it, he doesn't want to do it. But the idea, the fact that you have someone like that, he's like a Trump in a way, also breaking everything down, and he won that debate up there.
This time, though, I really believe that this time his eyes are open, that he can't trust nobody, and he would be a little more careful about who he picks to put in his cabinet. But I still think there's people left. I mean, there's lots of people to choose from to do different jobs for him. And what about Laura Logan as his press secretary? She'd be tearing some heads off. But what I'm saying is the field's wide open. There's a lot of new blood out there for him to choose from if he's the one that gets the nomination. For him to say this is who we think we should have.
God.
It would be, crazy.
What job would he offer Tucker Carlson? If he did that.
That's what I'm saying. There's just so much out there.
Wait. Tucker Carlson would be the guy that you would hear the morning press briefing from.
Exactly.
That's the only job he could get. That's the only job that's there for him.
I know, but it's funny.
But he'd do good at it. You know what I mean? And the people would trust him. But look at the interview with Trump that he had on Twitter, got over 200 million views. Think about that. Exactly. And that's not just United States, that's worldwide. So and it's still going up. And then Trump, what was it he did after that? He did something else. He did something, and I can't remember what he did, but he's already gotten a bunch of views on it. I think it was his speech that he gave after he got out of I Have It. I want to play it for a minute.
Do you think that the 1960 election and then the 68 election, the shenanigans that went on both of those will be 100 times worse this time around?
Oh yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I believe
I think
that.
it's going to be worse because everybody's got a phone.
Right.
You know, you got AI, you got all these different things, and it's just so much information coming out. You don't know which way to go. I mean, everybody's like on a spinning roller coaster. But I'm
So I
going to
remember
add that up there for you, Bruce. So you want to
Okay.
do that?
Oh,
You
here
want
you
to
go.
see this?
Here he is.
Yeah.
Can't hear anything.
Yeah, get turned up a little bit.
But now when we're finally crossing the finish line, I wish I could have stopped just a little earlier and caught a breath of the fresh air that had surrounded me the whole time. Teachers, staff, classmates, counselors, and friends, I'd like to welcome you to the 2003 St. X graduation ceremony. And most of all, to the fellow class of 2003, we are finally here. Yeah, I guess we finally are here. But the last question facing us tonight is what this really means.
You know, the bad thing for me is that that's just 2003, which means he's 38, which means
Mhm.
I'm a full 10 years older than the guy.
Mm-hmm.
His resume is like this sparkling diamond of like gold that any human resources person would see, and they would be like, oh my God, I want that person working for this company, until he opens his mouth and you realize we can't have you. You think different, because he wouldn't fit well within the corporate culture, the
Mm-hmm.
middle managers that have to keep the status quo. Nobody rock the boat. Nobody do anything different. Nobody do anything, with any with any vigor, with any vim. Nobody do anything, just do your normal stuff. Can we have routine? And you got Vivek here, which he's not exactly routine. Okay, I'll play more.
Mhm.
One that feels at long last after struggle and after success, that tonight we have arrived. Yet in quite another sense, I'm only reminded of a quote we recently read in our English class, that it is better to travel than it is to arrive, leaving me altogether confused as to how I'm supposed to feel right now. The word commencement comes from the French word commencer, which means to begin, and yet now we use that same word commencement to describe a ceremony marking the end to our four-year high school experience. And I know the idea is a little trite for graduation ceremonies, but then again, it's only trite because it's true. So tonight, which is it really? The climactic ending to it all, or simply the launch pad from which we now embark? The only answer lies looking at our experience. And as I look back at our high school experience, from the latest Sunday nights spent preparing for a week's worth of workload ahead, to the lunchroom conversations spent debating the editorials in that day's issue of the Blueprint, to the after-school hours spent sweating it out on the football field, or on the soccer field, or on the tennis courts, or simply standing by to cheer another one of those teams on, to the late-night hours spent by the members of TX in the theater, prepping just those last few lines for the big performance in front of the full house in the night to follow, to the 8 o'clock Saturday mornings of the mock trial team spent practicing cross-examination after cross-examination just to perfect it one more time, to the mission trips taken this past summer from anywhere from over the line Cincinnati to the rural areas of Peru just to make that little difference.
We're 2 minutes into this guy, and I'm kind of digging the fact that he's a young little whippersnapper with no real world experience here, but he's
Yeah.
already got an amazing ability to throw the words out in his head, and they arrange well. That he doesn't go like Obama does. He's
Mm-hmm.
got it prepared. I don't think he's reading off a script. I think he's just going for it. He's literally gunning it in sixth gear, and he's not seeing any problems with navigating the verbal landscape. He's just rolling with it.
The world in which we live. Yes, as I look back at that high school experience, I would undoubtedly forsake our arrival tonight for just another chance to travel that path once again. But it's been said, and correctly so, that experience is like a knife. It's in fact only determined by whether we hold it by the blade or by the handle. And we would all do ourselves grave injustice if we would only look at these shining moments. For just as real as these experiences over the past 4 years have been our experiences of grieving and of mourning, as individuals and as a community. for the loss of Steve McDevitt's mother last year, and of Trevor Kramer's father this year, and of Mr. Mueller's father this year, and of other loved ones along the way as well. Our experience of standing 2 years ago in disbelief as we watched the televisions in the library on the morning of September 11th, 2001. We've had these experiences, and the knife of experience stabbed us at these moments as much as it did sharpen us at all the others. And yet, whether it was these brutal stabs or that precise sharpening that have both taken place over the past 2 years, those experiences have already played crucial roles in shaping the people we have been and have become in high school, in our senior year, tonight, the rest of our lives to come.
All right. I don't want to watch the rest of this, no offense, but I'm pretty impressed with this guy. And I think that he's done nothing but hone his skills ever since then. And I mean,
Well, the thing is, too, you have to realize, too, that it's not just his personality or the amount of knowledge that he has or what his interests are. It's the fact that his family helped him pursue the best that they could give him, you know, for his education and what he's learning about his country he lives in, all those things. And that's what separates these people. Just like Obama, you know, he was born with a silver spoon in his mouth, and he had the best of everything, and he was able to see the world differently than another kid would that was born in the wrong neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? So just because of your skin color doesn't mean that you're going to have a better lifestyle. It really has to do with where you're at, where your parents are at, what kind of lifestyle they have compared to what you're going to have. And every so often you'll have somebody that that had a bad upbringing that ends up breaking from that and changing their lifestyle. Like what's that guy's name that does the pillows? What was his name again?
Mike Lindell.
Yeah, Mike Lindell. And I see he was a drug addict, you know, and he didn't even think he'd live very long, let alone end up becoming a multimillionaire because he changed his life for the better. And so everyone can do that if they decide to put focus on it and doing it. So it's just nice. And that's why I think that being a gentleman or lady, you know, acting a certain way and doing certain things makes a difference on how people accept you. If you go in to get a job working at let's say a law firm, and you go in, your hair is purple and green, and you got tattoos all over your face and stuff like that, and nose rings and stuff. Yeah, you might be really smart, but they're not going to take you serious for that job because you got to get up in court and do all different types of things. People aren't going to be able to focus on whatever it is that you're supposed to be doing because they're going to be looking at your appearance. So a person that dresses more appropriately for the type of job, then they're going to be more likely taken serious. Now, if that person with the purple and green hair had tattoos and worked in the tattoo parlor, when you walk in, you go, damn, this person's going to give me a good tattoo. I mean, that's what you're thinking. So that's just the way, that's just culture. We can't really do much about that unless you're raised on a desert island with no one around you. Culture does affect how people perceive you. I mean, you know, if I didn't wear anything and I was doing everything in the nude all the time, then everybody would think, well, she's a pervert, you know, whatever. If I'm doing live shows and stuff and I'm naked, you know, that's a perception what people would have. But, you know, they have it because they live in society where people don't run around naked all the time. You know what I mean? So perception is important on how you come across to a group of people, and depending on whether you're going to run for office. And some people can accept someone even though they're younger if they are acting more mature than, you know, what they really are. Some people say, well, they look young, but they've got to be this old because look how smart they are, look how they act, or look how they carry themselves, or look how much knowledge they have. So, you know, that's what we each want for our own kid. That's why we want your kid to make good grades. You want your child to be respectable and say yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am, and stuff, because you want your child to be looked at as a good part of society. You don't want the kid that's catching the animals and killing them in the backyard, for fun, or setting fires or beating up kids at school and stuff like that, because that's a bully. And that's a sign right now. I mean, that person's going to probably end up in jail, because if the parent doesn't try to do something to help that kid before it's an adult, his chances are slimmer and slimmer that he's going to be successful at anything. And that's sad, but that's life. I mean, that's just the way it is. And, I respect people that treat me with respect. I don't care if they have tattoos or whatever, but if they come up to me and they're gentlemen to me, I'm going to treat them as a gentleman, no matter what they look like. But a lot of people can do that, but a lot of people won't. They won't even make a chance to say hi or shake hands with someone if they think they look like, oh, I can't go by them, they're a freak or whatever. So, and that's sad. But see, I'm glad, because I had parents that taught me that what you look like, whether you're handicapped or any of that, shouldn't have any matter on whether or not you like them or not. It's how they treat you. If a person treats you with respect, you should treat them with respect back. And that's how I was raised. So, but that's why I think this gentleman did so well. Isn't just the fact of what he said, it's how he said it. It's a whole package, how he presented himself. And that's why I think he came out ahead in that whole debate, from everything that I've seen, because listening to so many different people from all over the United States talk about him, and certain things from different people were attracted because of the way he carries himself. And yeah, he reminded me a lot of Obama, but not what he was saying, or even that he has a darker olive skin. It was the way he carried himself. He was very articulate about everything, and he seemed very precise on certain things in the way he spoke about it. That just shows me he had a very good education,
Mm-hmm.
I think his handlers, I think Vivek's handlers are not nearly as influential as Barry Sotero's handlers are.
No, I don't think so either. But I'm talking about the education level, and the way that he can concentrate and think about what he's going to say, and he knows exactly which words to choose. And not very many people have that. Like Donald Trump is that way. He's very suave and debonair, but he chooses certain words that trigger people. You know what I mean? So, but like that when he did the interview the other day with Tucker, to me, he was very presidential in that whole interview. I thought he was very calm and collected, and he was he was very good. It was like someone I would want to see sitting in the White House and be able to talk about things. And he has done it before. So yeah, he sent out a few mean tweets. Oh my God, the world's going to end. I just think it's just dumb. I think people are putting too much emphasis on one area and not enough on the area that mattered, because we had no war. Our economy was awesome. People had more jobs. I mean, he was bringing businesses back to our country instead of taking them out of our country.
We
He was
brought back steel in Granite City, Illinois, which is 100 minutes from where I grew up at in Latham.
Mhm.
You have a Granite City, which is a little suburb of St. Louis, not exactly a peaceful town anymore, I might add, but you had steel jobs being brought to Granite City.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, I mean, could you imagine if we had somebody in the White House that had that same vision for America, who was America first? Sorry.
I wish it was a qualification they had to have to get to be president. They had to love our country. You know what I mean? That's the one thing I'm like, I've noticed in my lifetime that it seems like more and more and more people are running for office in different states that hate our country. They just absolutely hate everything about it, and they don't want us to be successful. It seems like they get the job and they do everything they can to fuck it up. You know what I mean? To make it worse. The schools, everything.
You hit the nail on the head. They have to love America. If they don't love America, and it says, why don't they love it? Because they want to change it. They want to fundamentally transform the United States to America.
Mm-hmm. Right. Sorry, Bruce, what did you say?
Obi-San took off. So
okay.
Sorry. I really do like Vivek. I think I don't think he's going to be president this time around, but I think he's got a hell of a lot better shot now that we all have seen him perform kind of under pressure on the public stage. I did like what he said to Chris Christie, and I would like to see him get more worldly knowledge. That way, the little government globalist twat that Nikki Haley is, she doesn't get the opportunity to school somebody again. Because I really just, it's not that I'm macho man or I'm not, misogynist, but I really just, a woman president better have the ability to back up her words. And Nikki Haley does not do that. She does not scare me as much as, say, Kamala Harris, who would get on her knees for $100,000.
Oh God,
did.
that whole thing scares the shit out of me.
But I just don't like Nikki Haley because she looks like she would fold. She would fold like a prisoner at a Turkish prison. She would just like collapse if you hit her with some hard truths or some like, hey, we're going to need somebody else to speak for you in front of this panel of men from the Middle East because they don't like women. They don't trust women unless the women are at the house taking care of the kids, and the kids never know the mother's name. By the way, in most Saudi Arabian cities, the kids never learn their mother's name, which is really weird, sad in my opinion. But Snorta Poopa says, "Am I wrong for wanting to see Jello dropped into a deep fryer?" Probably not, but man, it's funny. Okay, I think that you hit it on the head, guys. The person that runs the country has to love America.
That's what I think. It should be one of the top. I mean, to me, if all they do is go on and talk about like Obama's wife, okay, before he won, she was talking about how she was never proud of our country. Oh, his husband,
His husband,
Big Mike or whatever, said they were
Mike,
never proud of our country until Obama was elected. So, that's racist right there, just for her saying that. You know what I mean? To me, it is. It's offending to me because people died for her to be able to say that, to have the right to say that. That's what you should be proud of. I'm proud of what people have done and sacrificed for me to be able to be here and be able to be on this show and talk about things that I think are wrong. I'm thankful to all those people, to every person who served, that carried the American flag and had it on their strapped on their jackets and whatever else, or learned how to fly planes, or the guys that just pushed the donkey carts, or any job, anyone that did those things to make it so that other countries wouldn't try to take our rights away from us. I'm appreciative to all of them, and I think it's sad that so many people don't get up and they're mad because you're wearing an American flag on your shirt. It's like, what? I just don't get it. I mean, I'm just so lucky that I had. Maybe I'm not lucky. Maybe I got rose-colored glasses on when I look at things, because I think that our United States should be happy and proud of our people and our heritages and stuff, and the mixture that we have from so many different places around the world. But we all get along. We have different churches, we have different creeds, we have different skin tones, we have everything, and nobody should be able to walk down the street and to say, oh, look at that person, they're black, or oh, look at that person, they're Hispanic, or look at that blonde gay lady over there. Everybody's different. Nobody says that stuff because nobody notices it. I mean, I grew up in a family that if I came home with a guy that was an Indian, my parents wouldn't have said, oh my God, I can't believe you brought an Indian home to date. My parents never did that. I went out with a couple guys that were from the reservation, and my dad never said anything to me. We never talked about race at all. I mean, race was never, ever brought up, even though when we lived in Florida, my two older sisters, they went out with black guys. but my parents never acted like it was a horrible thing. I just never noticed racism. I mean, I just never was in a household where anybody said bad things about it. They said stuff, oh, that they got pimples on their face, or oh, they're too heavy, or something like that, or look how skinny she is. She needs to eat, stuff like that. But that isn't racist. That was being a bully. Is how I looked
Mm-hmm,
at it.
mm-hmm.
So I just never. I was so lucky, and I tried to raise my children the same way, because to me, having it even on your paperwork to get a job, to me, I don't understand that. Or even in the census, yeah, you need to know how old people are, because you want to know whether you need more facilities for the elderly or more for the children, that type of thing. That's one thing. But why does race have anything to do with how you're going to build your community? We all need schools. We all need hospitals. We all need this, that, shopping centers, and places to get your oil change. Why does your race have anything to do with any of that? See, to me, that kind of stuff is just dumb.
But
It's just a check mark on a piece of paper isn't needed.
but everything is broken down by check mark. Because again,
that's wrong.
I know, but that's what they believe. And again, that's why it's like people ask me, so what ethnicity are you? What are you? And then I'm going, I'm American. No, but where are you from? Like, and then what is it going to tell you about me? And then you basically say, I'm from Texas. Oh, so you're Mexican? And they're going, well, no, I'm an American citizen. I'm American. They just want to like narrow you in. So then basically it's like, okay, well then what every stereotypical thing they'll associate to you, because again, but again, they're doing it themselves. It's a voting block. Blacks vote one way. That's all they do. They say they want it this way. Hispanics say this way. And the thing is that they're already basically saying that like Hispanics are like, they're fighting against it because they're more family oriented, and black families are too. But again, the divide, what they've done over the past years, they have destroyed the family, and they've told black mothers to kick the fathers out, and then what's the incentive? More money, more control. It's a vicious cycle. It's all over. Everything.
And what's sad about the whole thing is that people don't listen when they're being told, look, they're picking you because they want you to stay home and have some more kids. They don't want you to get a degree. They don't want you to finish school or get a decent job where you can take care of yourself, because they want to take care of you, which means they have total control over where you live, what you eat, where your kids go to school, everything. They have control of your health care, every single detail in your life. But for some reason, they don't mind it. See,
because again,
like I said, I have people all the time say, why don't you have an OnlyFans? Or why don't you do this? Or why don't you do that? And I'm like, if I was that desperate that I had to sell my feet pictures on OnlyFans, I would already gotten a job at a chicken plant, at a cocktail waitress, whatever I had to. I have no problem with that working. You know what I mean? Cleaning chicken shit out of chicken houses. I mean, where I'm at right now, that's a job right there. You can make pretty good money raking out poop, out of a big giant chicken house, because chicken houses are everywhere in Arkansas. Because it's a what is it, Tyson World and Pilgrims, all that stuff. But what I'm saying is, I could go to bed at night knowing that I worked for my money, instead of saying, well, I got to sell a part of my body to make some money. I just don't feel like I'm that desperate, and I would do whatever I had to before I would ever do something like that. So, but that's just me. It might be because of how I was raised. I mean, I'm not sure, but that's just my personality. So, but I don't hold it against it, because I think that women should have the right to be a prostitute if they want, and it should be regulated just like they do in Las Vegas. If a woman is taking care of herself and she's getting checkups and she's not going to make other people sick, and a man wants to pay her for a night of fun or whatever, then to me, it's none of my business.
Right. Exactly.
I don't have a problem with it. It doesn't bother me a bit. But I think I'd rather see that money go to saving kids from being sexually assaulted or kidnapped or trafficked, stuff like that. To me, that's more important than whether two adults want to pay for somebody to have sex with each other or whatever. It's just dumb. I mean, there's so many things that we could do to streamline our courts and our police stations and everything if we just take stupid stuff like that off the books, because it's just dumb to me. But do you want to go ahead and talk about this? Let's go ahead and move to the Trump in the hood thing.
Okay,
This is awesome.
Trump in the hood.
Mhm.
I'm assuming you're talking about Atlanta or hot.
Yeah,
Atlanta.
when he was
Wow.
on his way to court, and this is him driving through a place that's like 49 or 49% blacks all in this neighborhood. So, and that's where he was going to court. But the thing is, what do people always say about black people? Just because they're black, oh, they're Democrats. They say that all the time. And that Democrats want this, that, or the other. It just like you were just saying a minute ago, Ruben, they're put in a category simply because they're black. And I just think this bullshit. And this is proof that that's not true. That people, it doesn't matter your skin color, you get sick and tired of bullshit just like anyone else. You know what I mean? So I just love this. Yeah, turn it up so you can hear it and start it over again. It's really good. And this is Trump's motorcade.
Whoa. Come on. Oh, man. Hold
It's
on.
all right. It won't hurt anything. It's got to just give it time for it to load up. But it made my heart feel good to see this, because this shows that Trump is reaching across boundaries, just like he always has done. And all these people that loved Trump before he became president, they loved him. And they still love him.
There's no sound.
Oh, well, if there's no sound, it's all right. Just show it. What is up to people? See the people, and they're waving, and they're like, they're saying Trump, 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 and stuff like that. It was really, really good. But it was just nice to see it. It was refreshing to show these people in their neighborhoods coming out to wave and, say, to let Trump out, to free Trump. And that,
oh my
that
God. Yeah, I was watching the whole thing go down, and I went, "Oh my God!" Some of the people outside it's just so, it's like so telling. They don't show them only through alternate media.
Yeah, and in front of the courthouse where Trump went, there was a group of black people, and I can't remember what they had on their shirts, but they had something on there, and they were all, excited, for Trump, because they're saying some of our people have been arrested and they've been in jail for over a year.
Can't tell you what they had on their shirts because you get kicked off.
Okay.
I mean,
but they had something that was very something racist, I thought. But if they want to call themselves that, it's their prerogative. But the thing is that it was nice, though, that they were doing it and they were trying to show their support for Trump, because they understand what it's like to be arrested, put in jail, and wait for your bond or whatever, even with no evidence. Just because the person can't afford a lawyer, they have to just sit and wait. You know what I mean? And whether you're black or white or Asian or whatever, you should be able to have the same treatment. Just like you see in the way that they're treating Biden's son and their family and Hillary and all them, and then how they treat these other people. See, it's not fair. It should be equal under the justice. I say that all the time, and that chaps my ass. I hate it when they do that, because that is so wrong. Okay, so let's do the I think it's Hood Trump. Yeah, do that one. Okay,
we did that one already.
No, that was the next one.
Oh, next one down. Sorry.
Trump in the hood. This one's Hood Trump. It's his when he when they took the pictures of him, right?
Oh, it's so good.
And they tried to leak them out or whatever, because they wanted to humiliate Trump and his other people, because it was Giuliani and 2 or 3 other people that were in there. I think I have that down there, photo drop down there at the bottom. I think that might not be it. I don't know which one it was.
Why is that coming through? Okay, try it again.
The thing is that they were trying to humiliate him. But when Trump dropped his own picture, his own shot of himself on his own his own thing. What is that called? What is the other one? Truth Social.
Yeah.
He had his picture, and then all people have been doing this to it, changing it up.
Yeah,
They're changing their picture to for their profile or whatever. You know what I mean? It's just great. Trump took it by the horns and made it his own. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
He grabbed it by the horns and he took care of it himself. I just think it's great.
What's what I hear on the side?
Yeah, they're all these pictures. I've been just
My.
laughing my butt off because they're just so great.
There you go. Amongst other ones. Gosh, sorry. Gosh, it's crazy. Dealing with crazy times right now. That's what I'm saying. It's like, what do you do?
But there's another one on here. I wanted to. I'm trying to see if I got it already.
You got 3 left.
Oh yeah, here's the other ones that I want to put this one in the chat for you. It's the other people that were there with Trump. They also went and had to have their mug shots. If I can get it up here. It's not working for some reason. It keeps going away.
Hit present and then add to stream.
I know, but I'm trying to get it into our private chat. It's not working. Darn it. So hold on. Yeah, Thug Life Trump. I just thought that was funny. It's great. It's not letting me do it. I'm going to try to do it one more time.
Just type.
Yeah, I'm not that good at type either. I'm not very good at it. I didn't take typing in school. I suck. It's not letting me put it over there now for some reason.
What, you can't type? Never mind.
No, it's not letting me put anything in the
Oh no. Yeah, well, my camera went down and you can't type. Welcome to the shit show, everybody.
Yeah, it's messing up on me. But normally I don't have this kind of problem. I mean, it seems like it's been working for me. I mean, I can't even move the thing up and down. It's barely letting me. Maybe my mouse is starting to die. Let's see if I can find the plug-in for it.
You don't have a wired mouse?
You too
can
have.
It's wireless. Mine's wireless, but if I don't charge it every so often, I just start dying. And I've had a lot of crap going on. I haven't remembered to do it.
If you suffer from electile dysfunctions, contact your doctor.
Yeah,
sorry, mouse. Electric
it's
mouse.
Not letting me do it. It's not letting me do it. Darn it. Well, you just have to do the other ones that are up there already.
That's fine.
I can't even move. I can't even move anything. It's not working. I might have to leave and come back.
Why don't you do that?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I think I'm gonna have to leave and come back.
Yeah, just go off for a bit. For a bit. Just like going on. Oh yeah. Now it's just us for a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. It was so weird because again, that's what happened when I basically moved my computer back a bit and something shorted, and then the camera was froze. It wasn't working, and then I basically did it come out, and then because I didn't want to lose any of these links that she put there, and oh my god. So that's why I was like, yeah, but now it's working, so at least I'm good. How have you been? How's things going with you?
Aside from this week being really rough with me and the boss getting into an argument about maintenance and budget, it's not been bad. I've been doing fairly well. I'm happy that I still have a job. We did yell quite nicely and loud at each other, but I have a situation on my hands where I've been driving this vehicle for 11 months, and usually once a year it dies on me. Well, it died on me. The heat finally got to it. It did something with the fitting, and as I'm driving down the road, hey, look, that looks like antifreeze on my windshield.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's an International, so I don't have a very high opinion of the truck in the first place. Secondly, it's an automatic. And I like having control over the engine. I like having control over a lot of things. And I get frustrated whenever trying to just go up a hill.
Darn.
Okay.
There she is. Lovely Janet.
I'm back, but
Ooh.
I still can't. It's like it comes up and then goes away. Oh wait, here it is. It's working. Okay, let's see if it's gonna let me do it. It's not saying paste. I don't know how to do it. How do you copy something and paste it without using your mouse?
Control
Control
X.
Control A, then Control C, then move your mouse over to the spot where you're going to paste it. Click that area and
Control Alt
Control A.
A. Oh, it takes the whole thing. I don't need all of it. I just need
Control.
the one.
No, you need no. Hold on. Just highlight what you want. Highlight it first, and then you do Control C
Control
to copy. C.
Then
Okay.
go over there.
Then do Control V.
Control D.
V is in victory.
V. Oh, it worked. Okay. All right. There's. Oh, I put it in the chat, not in our chat. Damn it! I gotta do it again. Oh man, I'm stupid. Sorry, people.
Oh shit! I can grab it. Hold on. I got it. I can do myself.
I'm gonna try to do this other one. Control C, and then Control V.
Oh no!
I'm learning something. See, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. But there you go. I put something in our thing. It says mug shots on it. It's everybody's pictures.
Got it.
And then I want to do this speech after that. I'm going to copy it.
Come on, boy.
And then that one is the one I want to do after that one. Okay, I think I got it done that way. Yay, I did it. Okay, here we go.
Okay, cool.
Now, here you go. See, these are the mug shots. It says Fulton County Sheriff's things, and it's got, I don't remember everybody's names on here. I have to go.
Giuliani.
Yeah.
This is Sidney Powell and Jenna Ellis.
Okay, yeah. Okay, there you go. There's their mug shots.
Right.
So I wanted you guys to see that it wasn't just Trump. They also got taken into the same, not the exact same charges, but similar charges for them. Which is so. I just wanted you guys to see it because that's terrible.
Yeah, it is crazy.
It's terrible that this is going on. I've never seen anything like it. I've never thought I'd ever see anything like this in my life.
It's a banana republic. Don't you understand? It's a banana republic.
Apparently it is. But yeah, I want to play this, and I want to play the whole thing. So I don't care if I get a copyright strike or whatever. I'm not monetized, but I'd like for us to hear it. So listen to this. This is Trump after before he got on his plane, after he was bailed out or whatever.
Come on. What the hell?
Volume.
It's not playing now. Okay, hold on. See, my computer's acting weird now. Hold on. Come on. Oh, shit. Wait, hold on. Maybe. Hold on. Let me reload it real quick. Here we go.
Did you get to see it already?
No, I have not.
It's really good.
Yeah, I'm having a problem with this internet now.
Okay, well, I was gonna say, Bruce, can you put it up there so we can hear it?
Sorry.
If you don't mind. It's in the private chat. I think, at the very bottom, Trump speaks after his booking.
Okay.
I want everybody to hear what he has to say because I thought it was really, really good. Considering, See, my whole thing is I've been telling everybody what I've been trying to get people to do is to sign up to work the polls. Because if you work the polls and we have one butt in every seat in every county, you know what I mean? Maybe we can stop as much of the cheating as possible. Maybe that'll help.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. That's what I'm saying. I want to I don't know why. No, I know why. I want to go somewhere and live. I want to find my home, and I would basically I don't know. I feel like it's like that story of someone shows up and then becomes mayor of a city. Just kidding. So in some small town, I want to just have a nice life in a small town now.
Yeah, but see, to me, that's our way of being able to take back our cities.
Exactly.
And our state. So here we go. This
Here we
is
go.
really, really good. Let's see if we can get to listen to it.
What
Can't
in
hear
the
it.
fuck, Twitter?
Sorry.
It's an election. You should be able to challenge an election. It was a rigged election, a stolen election. You should have every right to do that. As you know, you have many people that you've been watching over the years do the same thing, whether it's Hillary Clinton or Stacey Abrams or many others. When you have that great freedom to challenge, you have to be able to, otherwise you're going to have very dishonest elections. What has taken place here is a travesty of justice. We did nothing wrong. I did nothing wrong. And everybody knows it. I've never had such support. And that goes with the other ones too. What they're doing is election interference. They're trying to interfere with an election. There's never been anything like it in our country before. This is their way of campaigning. This is one instance, but you have 3 other instances. It's election interference. So I want to thank you for being here. We did nothing wrong at all. And we have every right, every single right to challenge an election that we think is dishonest. And we think it's very dishonest. So thank you all very much, and I'll see you very soon. Thank you.
Well, basically, what he was trying to say is that he had every right to challenge an election. Okay, Hillary did it. What's her name? What's that lady's name that's in Georgia that says she won? Okay,
Stacey Abrams, the president of humanity.
They've all done it, but they're not getting arrested for it. So it's just bullshit, you know. 2 sides of one coin.
I look at Stacey Abrams and I'm like, when are we going to actually call Lizzo 2.0 out? You're not going to fucking try to parade that around as normal, are you? Because that's like 3 people on that one body. And I'm not trying to say like, you know, I'm a svelte specimen of the human race at peak form. No, I'm not. But Stacey Abrams is not somebody that I trust on anything, because the lady, 1, just she needs a good dental plan. 2, she needs to have Richard Simmons go chase her with a stiff dick, and she'll run for days. she'll lose that way. I can't stand Stacey Abrams. Like she didn't even concede when she had gotten her ass beat the first time.
Yeah, she didn't. So, you know, it's just that to me, it's like they're going way overboard. This is his 4th indictment. I mean, how many indictments is it going to take before they're going to say this is bullshit? I mean, it just doesn't make any sense at all.
What else is left? Well, that's the thing. Basically, there's the whole idea that states will find a way to remove them off the ballot because of this. That's the other like thing that leads to, which is another total anarchy, or you can't do that.
Okay, well, I think I have another thing up there for you. If you can click on it, it says a nationwide cellular network connects election equipment and gives feds access. So it was,
good.
Yeah, this one was one that we were all sharing on Twitter with all the different groups of people, all looking at it because it was really, really interesting.
Let's see here. Do you see it?
Yeah, I see it. Here we go.
Okay. Yes.
But we'll have to read it out. Read it out when you get to click on it. It should take you somewhere, I think. I don't know.
Oh, here we are. Okay. Bombshell exclusive. Nationwide cellular networks connect election equipment and gives federal government access to election systems at the precinct level.
You go, and there's a map, and it shows you how they're all connected.
Right.
Through the internet. So, and Michael Lindell is trying to get a group together to let people, and he's going to pay for all the drones. He's wanting to buy drones. And if you apply for it, if you're going to work like work the polls somewhere that you can say, I'm going to be working these polls, and you want to have a drone there. And somehow, I don't know how they do it. It's like not a drone that flies around. It's like a unit or whatever that sits there, and it will tell you whether anybody is connecting to anything outside of your building. You know what I mean? If someone's trying to send numbers and stuff in, or trying to change the equipment that's in the voting center. So, different things like that. So we've gotten some really good ideas from different people to try to help slow down the cheat. But it's just like, and what kills me about all of it is that none of this would have happened at all if Pence would have said, those 5 states that were there that day saying, we have all this evidence, and this is the irregularities that were going on, and we need to do something about it. All he had to do is send it back to the states and let the states figure out, what laws were changed and why, blah, 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 and then get something done. You know what I mean? But the fact that he just said, no, I'm not going to send it back. We're going to take what you guys have. Basically, is why we're where we're at. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know what to say or what we could have done different. I mean, the fact that, and then they were so mad because of Trump not just quietly disappearing, I guess, or fading into the woodwork, that they had to decide something. They had to figure out something with January 6th to be able to get rid of him. We got to get rid of this guy. We got to get him out of here. And they can't just shoot him, well, they could, but they don't want to make a martyr out of him worse than they already think that they're doing right now. To me, that's what this is turning into. It's like they're turning him into, Teflon Don, the actual guy that they made fun of earlier. So I don't know what we can do about it. I don't know how we're supposed to fix any of this stuff. I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, you think it's grassroots where we have to do it from our local towns, just like voting for your school board, voting for your sheriffs and your city council and all that stuff, and maybe go from there and go up to your state level, and then maybe send some decent people to the federal government? I mean,
that's the thing, basically, and again, that's like, I want to start doing that. What needs to be done, because again, it's like, what can I do, and I need to get involved, and that's why I want to basically find a place, and that's what we need to do. It's the whole, Gary's talked about it, a bunch of other people, and Betty Johnson was on F&T today, but again, the first person who actually talked about it was Nick Rekieta, regarding the idea that if the best thing you can do, take your kids out of school and raise them the right way. Stand up against this, understand where you live, what, who the dog catcher is, your city board, your PTA, get involved and stand up. Because again, right now we've taken off of that, again, for me, it's like, I've never been involved in that aspect of it. I just live my life. And now, and again, I was not blind to everything, but I believe that there were people that were very honest, and then I found out that no one is honest, and that hit me hard. And then with the whole 2020 starting, again, I was sick, and then I was surviving, and then when 2020 hit, it just collapsed, and then everything's a lie. I don't want to listen to anything anymore. It just disgusts me. And I'm just basically saying, no, I'm not going to fight anymore. I'm going to live. And to live is to then basically start over fresh. And that's what we have to do. We have to be positive. And that's why I basically say,
that's going to be tough. That's going to be tough, restructuring the United States. And the only way for me to think that it can be possible is to do it from one state at a time. Each state has to go in and just pull all that shit out and restructure how they're going to do the voting. And the states that haven't had any problems, they'll have less to do. But like the state of Oregon, they only have mail-in ballots. That's it. That's the only way that you can vote in that state. but that's the way they've done it for I don't know how long, but for quite a while. From the couple of people that I've talked to, they said as long as they've been voting, that's the way it's always done. So the thing is, though, to me, I'm a firm believer in states' rights. I think the state should have more rights over their state than the federal government should have any say in that state. There should be a few things because we need the federal government to protect us from invasion, and maybe a huge, disasters or things like that. We need the federal government to go in case we need the National Guard or things like that. But I really think it should be the states that take care of themselves, basically. When it comes to that.
What's gonna happen next? What's the trigger gonna be? Is it gonna be a war? Is it gonna be a weather event? To be an earthquake? Is it gonna be something else? What is the big
I don't know. It
event?
seems to me that we're having a
Economy.
lot of that stuff right
The
now. We're
economy.
having look at the fires, the train derailments, all these factories burning down. And then this huge thing in Maui. This really weird fire, and then you've had all these fires in Canada.
Right.
It's just been I don't know. And then we had those weird what was it? China balloons, floating around.
Mhm.
We've had some really weird stuff. And all during this time right now, what are they talking about in Congress and stuff? They're doing those hearings on the UFO stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So is a lot of this stuff like to keep people not focused on the hearings for that? I mean, I don't know. I've gotten so paranoid over everything. It seems like every single thing to me is a conspiracy theory, because it just seems as soon as we start to look in that direction, something over here happens. As soon as we start to go back and look at that again, something over here happens. You see what I mean? Doesn't that seem weird to you guys that's what it seems like it's going on? It's like I don't know. To me, it just seems like there's too many things happening at one time, and then all these indictments, and it's just overboard. It's like they opened the bag of conspiracy theories and they're dumping it out on the table, and it's letting it just roll all around and stuff, and to cover up something big. They're covering up something huge. I don't know what it is, but boy, they're working hard at it. That's what it looks like to me.
Because the thing is that the reason I'm doing what I'm doing is because I believe in a brighter future. But I do have the wherewithal to know that we haven't even touched the darkness yet. Because what's going to happen, whatever it does happen, it's going to be the majority of people begging for someone to help. Then that they're going to make you beg for it. That's what they want. They want collapse and make you a beg for
But we
tyranny.
have people begging right now. Look at the people
I
in the
know.
streets. We
I
got
know.
people in every
It's not
single big city. We have zombies basically walking around the streets. And what do? They walk out and they pass them out fresh needles and
Yes. But
shit. And then
they're
they
gonna-
just
they're
end
gonna-
up all over the streets.
But they're
They're
going
in
to
the
continue to
streets.
push. They're going to continue to push. They're going to continue
awful.
to. But I'm saying, but that's what I'm saying. That's a cycle.
Mhm.
Again,
terrible.
you look at Instagram, you look at TikTok, you look at Twitter, you look at all these social media platforms. You have these women that are selling their bodies. You have guys not integrating with women, not talking. Then you have to wear the masks again. You have to do this. You have to do that. You have to inject this. You have to inject that. You have to follow this. It's the system they want. And again, everyone benefits. Pfizer benefits, the government benefits, Hollywood benefits. Even now, Hollywood is benefiting because the big corporations, they can say, let it burn. They don't care. Because again, they're betting against people not watching it too. They're making profit off of this. So again, it's like the whole idea that, let's say Dial of Destiny. They for that movie they spent $350 million, and it's not going to make any money back. But someone got the money.
Yeah.
Someone got the money. They didn't make a profit, but someone did. Who again? It's a big money laundering scheme. It moves from one to the
Everything
other.
is. I mean, to me, I think everything that
It's
all
a
the money that
it's a
we
Ponzi
sent
scheme.
to
It's a Ponzi scheme.
Ukraine has all been for some big money laundering scheme. And the whole thing, and everybody's saying Russia, is they've been saying Russia for years with Trump, right? The PP dossier, blah, 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 all this shit. And then Russia goes in, but they don't go in and just like, carpet bomb them all. If a country's going to if we wanted to take over China, we would just drop a couple bombs like we did already in Japan, right? It ended the war. It was over, right? If that's what Russia wanted, was to take Ukraine back, they would have just carpet bombed the place and just went in and took over. But they didn't. They went into 6 different places. It was very strategic. And then when Putin came out and he said that, there were bioweapons and it was laboratories, and he was talking about the child trafficking, all this stuff. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, we gotta stop him. We can't do it because he's a bad guy. Right now, I don't know what to think, because to me, they're throwing so much out. It just seems like it's really blatant.
They want a bad guy. They want a bad guy. They want a villain.
Yeah, but they're pointing their finger at themselves by throwing out so much shit. They're making it impossible for us to not look back at them because they're doing so much to distract us.
Here's a question I have for both of you that makes kind of a sense. Okay. What percentage portion of Americans are plugged into the matrix completely? In your opinion, how many are
Americans?
They basically everything that we're saying here, they think we're.
I'd say
conspiracy
I
theorists.
think about maybe 30% of Americans are completely plugged in. That they're no matter what you say or what you show them, they're not going to change. They're already jacked on the system that they're never going to unplug. That's what I think. At least that many.
Bruce?
About 33, 35, somewhere around there.
Yeah. But then again, I agree with but I agree with both of you. However, that is increasing rapidly. Because again, the whole one aspect of it is right now, and Jordan Peterson is going through this right now. He has to go through re-education in Canada. That is a scary term a government using. And we know this because that's what they did back in the 30s. And they did it before in the 50s. And again, every time we say, oh, it's how terrible. Now it's like you're using something. You don't listen to history. It's a very, very dark time. And the idea, but here's,
it's hard for our kids to even get the history because the teachers and stuff are taking all the true history out of the history books and they're rewriting it. So the kids right now, like in kindergarten right now, by the time they're in high school, they're not even going to get the same history books and learn the same stuff you and I learned.
Right.
So how do we stop that?
Yeah. Because but again, we have to take back our culture completely. And that's again, every aspect of media, every aspect of government, every aspect of life, we need to take back. We abandoned it. Music. Again, here's the thing I got to basically say. The song that Oliver Anthony sang, he's not a conservative guy. He's just trying to be his own life. This is what he's feeling. But everyone wants to politicize everything. And that's what's dividing us. Because again, it's based upon a very simple principle. It's in data, analytics. The algorithm wants to please you. They want you sitting in front of the TV or in front of the computer, and they feed you the stuff you want. And again, it's so basically it's like,
the sides of your head.
And you can ask a certain question, like, what is what's I'm going to change the wording. It's like, are jabs safe? Okay, saying the question. Okay, that question. It's going to give you a kind of impartial question. If you basically ask it again, I need proof that jabs are safe. It only gives you that. So if you ask it again, I need to understand why they are not safe. Then it gives you that. So it only gives you what you ask. It doesn't, and it's dividing everybody on all platforms. That's the whole idea. You had 43% of kids are now considering themselves, that they may have multiple genders. They're forcing this on, and again, Bill Maher brought this up about a couple months ago. But again, it's the whole idea that monkey see, monkey do, and we're continue to do that. and they're using that. Madison Avenue
Yeah,
remembers
because
that.
ever since you were young, we all want to emulate our heroes. You know, that's why
Yes.
we put on the little costumes and wanted to be a superhero, or we want to be
Okay,
a doctor
so here's
or
another question.
or something.
Honestly, right now, if you were 10 years old now, who would be your hero?
Well,
If I were 10, my hero would be Trump right now.
yeah.
That's what would be my
Mhm.
yeah. And like and they people can't figure that out because what other hero is out there? What other person out there that do you trust out there as being someone who's genuine? Well, Vivek in a way, maybe.
Well,
but
I like Scott Pressler. He's a genuine person. He's done everything on his own, you know. So I mean, there's a few
there's
out
many.
there.
There's many out there. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
there's a
again,
few.
back in when we were younger, we had much more diversity of no pun intended of
Well, because
different people
when
look
we
for.
were younger, we read more. We read books. We had to go get a book and actually open it and read it. And if there was pictures in it or drawings or whatever, or use our imagination to make up what we thought they looked like. Today, kids don't even have to read. They get everything off their iPhone or an iPad or television, or they go to the movies, right? So the culture, just like I was saying earlier, culture is changing the thought processes and the way that our children are growing up and absorb information. So you'll have a little kid that's like 2 years old that can swipe back and forth and find things on your phone. And then you give the same phone to your grandma and she won't know what to do with it.
Right.
See, that's the difference in the generation from that. You know, there's a huge gap. There's a giant gap now compared to what there used to be when we were younger. There wasn't such a big gap because there wasn't that much changing in the information that we were absorbing and how we were putting it out. We remember my mom used to gripe, but there was only 3 channels on TV when she was a kid. Okay,
Right.
and it was in black and white. You know,
Right.
things like that. So we've come a long ways, and I thought I had it made. Remember, I remember the very first video game I ever played. It was called Pong. Do you remember that game? And it was just 2
I heard of it,
paddles.
yes.
And there was a ball. It would go back and forth. I remember playing it with my dad, and he thought it was the coolest thing ever. I thought it was neat. But I mean, then all of a sudden I'm playing Dr. Mario and I'm playing other games, and it's all the cool graphics and everything. Technology started changing the way we look at things and how we even movies. I'm watching movies with Bruce, and we're watching movies made in the 70s and 80s mostly, and some a little older and some a little younger than that. Right in that realm, because it's such diversity in it. There's so many musicals, and there's westerns, and there's war movies, and love stories, romances, comedies. I mean, so much. There's a huge, ginormous bucket of all these different genres and different heroes in all of them, right? But today, as you come down, it's like we're in a funnel. We're going down the skinny part of the funnel now because it's like funneled into nothing. I mean, there's just very little talent. I mean, out there, or it's like they're forcing us in. They're like taking us in the wide gap and forcing us down this tube, and we're all supposed to squeeze our way through there and molding us all into one. You know, like basically we're all going to look the same when we come out the other end. We can't tell who's a girl, who's a boy, what color they are, anything. Nobody has anything different than anyone else. We're all just these plastic beings that have no gender, have no personality. You eat what you're told, and you do what you're told, and that's it. A bunch of robot molded plastic people. You know, that's what I'm seeing, because it's sad. You know, because if you look at these transgender people, the ones that I have seen, you go to a gathering of them, they all look the same. They're all painted up, and they got deformed looking body shapes, and they're just like, it's like that movie. What was it? Escape from LA? Yeah. And it had all those weird.
Oh, yeah.
People, okay. And they were all deformed and stuff because they keep doing all these damaging things to themselves. And that's basically where they're pushing us. They're pushing us to all be that. So you can't tell us apart. If you had a whole room of drag queens standing up there, you wouldn't know who's man, woman, which one can actually have babies or which one can't have babies. You wouldn't know because you can't tell by looking at anything. The only way to find out is by lifting their skirts.
Exactly.
To see if they what's down there to find out whether or not we can procreate. Are we going to grow everyone in laboratories? I mean, what does this our governments think? If you don't have babies, you die. You go extinct.
Right.
Okay, we've seen animals that are extinct because there's no babies born. So what happens when we can't make babies anymore?
Yeah.
You know, women don't quit producing eggs on their. See, I'm a born woman. I'm a girl. As I grow up, my eggs mature, but I'm already born with all the eggs I'm going to have my whole life. Okay. And I don't know how many thousand eggs, because you have one egg, you get 12 eggs a year, basically, because you have one period a month. But that's where the eggs come from. A man is different because a man produces sperm on a daily basis. You can make new sperm every 24 hours, right? So men can keep doing it, but the women can't. A woman only has a certain amount of time where her eggs are mature until she doesn't make eggs anymore, until she's already used up all her eggs. So, I just don't know what we're going to do, especially if we're making it to where we have less and less women producing actual eggs. It's bad because men, even though you might have physical problems stuff, as you get better, you still have sperm on a daily basis. You see, as long as you have testes, you're going to always be able to produce sperm all up until you die. Okay. So you're going to have fresh swimmers, that are raring to go all the way to the day you're gone. But a woman doesn't have that option. So we have to keep women available once they're mature enough to be able to carry a baby in their womb and everything, up until the woman can no longer healthily, make healthy babies anymore. That's a short span of time. Maybe 30, maybe 40 years time span in a woman's life that she can do that. So if we run out of that, if we run out of women being able to produce, it's going to be like the Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah, you can't have that. That's why. That's what I'm saying. It's
scary. I mean, that is what's happening right now all around the world. Well, not in every single country, because like Africa and some other places, they're not doing this transgender shit. Okay, but all in our country, in Canada, in Europe, and places all over Europe, I mean, we're just wiping ourselves out by castrating the young men and changing the women. Not all of them are having their uteruses and stuff taken out, their ovaries out there, but their chemical things they're putting in their body we don't know what we don't scientifically, we don't know for sure what we're doing to it. What are we doing to the future babies? See, that's what scares me.
Yeah,
that scares me really bad, because that's the future of us as humans
exactly.
on this planet by what they're doing. How can they possibly want to force this on people and not have an outcome for it? You see, that's to me what's scary. These are supposed to be the best of the best scientists and doctors, and a doctor
Just kidding.
You know what I mean? He took an oath to protect life, and now we're just ripping it right out of the girl's ovaries, basically. And without wombs to grow them in, they want to grow them in these. Remember, we did a show and it had these little things they're putting the embryos in and growing them. It's a womb, but it's outside the human body. It's a machine does it.
Right.
But you still have to have a woman's egg and you have to have a man's sperm to still do that. But how long before that they don't even need that anymore?
Yeah, but the bond between the child and the mother then is non-existent.
Yeah, or the mom and the husband, or the dad and the child. They're taking the human quality out of it.
Because they say they don't want you to breastfeed.
Love out of it. That's it. Without love, what kind of planet are we going to have? When I can't go over and say, "Oh, Ruben, I miss you," and I give you a big old hug because I care about you. I care about seeing you every day or talking to you. That's feelings. You know what I mean? it's human. That's what makes us human. That's what separates us from everything else on this planet, is the fact that we can miss each other, we can talk to each other, we can make babies together, we can make families together, we can make whole communities. That's what separates us from everything else. So they're taking that away from us. They're ripping that from us. But
Yeah,
why? Why are they
all
doing it?
control.
A control of what? There's not going to be anything left. Then they can't control nothing because there's nothing left. That's what I don't understand. They're ending us.
But they want less people around.
There will be less because there'll be nobody.
That's what I want. That's the idea.
I mean, how long can you take your eggs and freeze them? You know, I know you put them, they do cryogenics, and I know that they've had a couple babies that were on the news that they froze the eggs, the embryos, and then implanted them, and they grew up.
Yeah.
But how long can we actually do that? You know, before we run out of time.
But that's why I'm basically saying I got to get married again, and then it's a long shot, but
or you can just hire a surrogate.
True.
People do that too, so you can have your own kid. Just because you're a man doesn't mean you can't be a dad. Doesn't mean you can't go out.
Yeah, but I do want to.
No, I'm saying, yeah, I want everyone to have love. I wish every person on this planet could fall in love and be with someone special in their life and have that. Because that is what being a human is all about. I really believe that.
That's why my three top things I'm doing, of course, looking for a job. But then I basically say, I can get two birds with one stone here. Look for a place to go that has somebody that wants to start a life together, and then start a job there or do something there. Because that's the other thing. I want a home. I want to know where I'm going. I don't have a home right now. And that's the most important thing to me. So yeah, I'm looking for.
And you're doing it though. You're focusing on your life. You started losing your weight. You're making changes for yourself to get to the goal that you want, which is to have your own family and your own place somewhere. You just don't know where it is yet, but you're doing it. You're already making the steps to it. So you've already gotten farther than half the people in the United States.
I know.
Honestly, if you think about it. So that I'm proud of you for that. I think that's great. Yeah, but somebody said in there, who wants a kid by themselves? Okay, well, I know a few people who lost the person they loved. Okay, and all they think about is they wish they'd had their sperm so that they could have their baby because they always wanted to have that. They still love that person. Yes. And the same thing with men. I know a couple stories I've seen on documentaries where their wife was pregnant. They were in a car accident. She's brain dead, but they're keeping her body alive so the baby can be born. So the dad is now a single dad without the mother because she died. And she'd been dead, brain dead for months to be able to have the baby. So many people do it. People do it a lot, whether you want to think about it or not, depending on the circumstances. There's nothing wrong with that, because if let's say, Ruben, you end up hiring some girl, pay her for her college degree or whatever, and she carries the baby for you and gives it to you, and you're a dad. So now you're taking care of a kid, and then one day you bump into someone, they're like, oh, they see your baby and they strike up a conversation, and now you have a woman in your life. So what I'm saying is, just women do it all the time. Why is it okay for a woman to get pregnant and have a baby by herself, but it's not okay for a guy to decide to do that? I think it's fine. I think men are just as able to be a parent by themselves as a mom. So, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. And nowadays women are willing to do that for somebody because they either they have their own kid. Okay. They have a kid that they love and they want to take care of, but they're having a hard time, keeping some, food on the table or whatever while they're finishing school. And if they can, someone can pay them $30,000 and they have a baby for someone else, I don't see that as a problem either. Because to me, just like I said, just like prostitution and selling your body, you're renting your womb out. And I thought about doing that. I thought about donating some of my eggs, so somebody else could have a baby. Because, why not? I have eggs and I'm not going to use them. I got my tubes tied so I wouldn't have any more babies because I was like, I'll have a baby every year if I'm not careful. So I had to make sure I didn't. Because my mom had 5 daughters trying to have a boy. And then finally, after she had my youngest sister, the doctor told my dad, I think it's time for you to say, okay, she's had enough. So, and that's exactly what happened. My mom got her tubes tied. So what I'm saying is it's different for every person, and nobody knows you better than you know yourself. So you know what your own capabilities are. You know what you want in your life. And if you're in a position in your life where you can be a parent and have a child, why not? I just don't see the problem. I don't care if you're a man or a woman. Or if you're a dwarf and you want to have a normal baby and you go adopt a baby, what difference? One of my best friends was a dwarf in high school, and her brother was tall and her mom was tall and her dad was a dwarf. But, you know, that doesn't make any difference either. There's millions and millions of different types of families in the world. That doesn't make it a wrong family. It just means it's a different family. You know, they're just different. I'm not like anybody else I've ever met. I'm not like any of my sisters, you know, but I have 4 of them and we're all different. But the thing is that, you know, and we were raised by the same parents, but our points of view, things that we enjoy and everything are all different because we are all born different. We are not the same. Not one of us are the same. So I think everybody should have the right to live their life the way they want and raise their kids the way they want without the government telling them they're not right or they can't do it. As long as they're not hurting anyone, they're not, you know, causing detriment to anyone. I think they should have the right to be that religion, this religion, or whatever religion, or that the parents like opera music and they want to teach your child opera music. They should have the right to play opera music for their kid. You know, I hated country music growing up because that's all my mother ever listened to. So I'd sneak in my room and get my little record player or my little, what was that? What were those little cassettes? Yeah, that, and listen to my music in there with my little headphones on because my mom didn't like my music. But that's the difference. But that's what it's great about being where we are right now. We still have a chance to save our country and be able to have all these wonderful things that we have and choices that we have. But we've got to start working as a team if we're going to pull this place back together again.
Yep.
Because we've handed over so many of our rights to the federal government that our states are losing out. And that's one good thing. I've noticed more and more states are passing the open carry and stuff like that. So, hey, you know, some good things are starting to happen. It's just if we wait for the courts, it's just going to take a long time.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
And some of us don't want to wait around. You know what I mean? We're tired of waiting around.
That's terrible.
Okay,
Yeah.
Bruce, I'm going to shut up for a little bit and let you talk some. Is there anything you would like to talk about?
I'm debating on this because it's a heavy topic. I'm going to say no. We'll do that some other night.
Okay.
Because if we talk about it, like I'm going to get just infuriated. I'm going to get pissed.
Oh, well, I don't want you to get infuriated. You've already had a bad week.
Yeah, this is not.
You deserve a nice weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, fuck it. Here we go. Let me pull it up. I don't like it. Nobody's gonna like it. See this? So off the
Yeah,
Gateway Pundit.
I'm trying to click on it and open it up. There you go.
Virginia family pulls a teen out of their high school after they told him to take down the mounted American flags on his truck. High school senior Christopher Hartless quit school because administrators told him to remove the mounted American flags from the truck. He refused because it clearly violated the First Amendment rights. ABC 13 out of Bedford County, VA. Bedford County family pulled their son out of Staunton River High School after they say the school told him to remove the American flags he mounted on his vehicle. Student Christopher Hartless said he was just exercising his First Amendment right to fly the American flag by displaying it on his car. My family fought for America, and I feel like I should be able to represent the flag that they fought for. The school system says, though, large flags or banners on cars are not allowed for safety reasons. Christina Kingery said last Wednesday her stepson, Heartless, who's a senior, went to school with an American flag mounted on the truck. And goes down further. He refused to take the flags down. The school revoked his parking pass. And so he became schoolless, quit. Nobody was available. It's no surprise from the ABC 13 to the school. Nobody would answer their questions.
Mm-hmm.
Christopher's stepmom said he would be homeschooled since school revoked a parking permit and would not let him fly the flags. She also said that she would possibly put him back in school if they change her mind. Not likely to happen.
And where was this at? What state?
Bedford, Virginia.
In Virginia, a southern state, and they're not letting them wave the American flag. See, that's what I was talking about. It's
Crazy.
that's terrible.
For those of you that remember Lurch, the 2004 star, the main character of the Democrat Party,
Yeah.
for I will bore you to death.
Yeah.
Climate change deniers are a part of a dangerous cult, says a man who's part of a dangerous cult.
Yeah,
Right.
and what's funny is some of these things were being said when I was young, right? How the ice caps were going to be melted and drown most of the people in the United States and all this different stuff, but none of that's happened. So, I don't know how else to get people to see it. I mean, I tell people this. I said Plymouth Rock, if you can go there and you can see it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But guess what? If the ice was melting as fast as they say, then why is Plymouth Rock still there? Why isn't it covered up with water?
Makes sense.
See, that's common sense, but it seems like we're getting the farther in the future we go, less people have common sense for some reason. Like stick your finger in the fire and it burns. Ouch! Okay, it's ouch. And they just keep doing it. Like that movie Caveman that we keep saying we're going to review.
Yeah.
But that's the whole idea, though.
Ringo Starr.
When they say contents in cup may be hot, like you're basically the safety labels. Remove all safety labels.
But see, that's one thing we talked about that before is the fact that they put all these labels on everything. Okay, and they say they have to put this on this plastic bag because someone might put it over their head and suffocate. I'm like, instead of teaching people when they're young that not put plastic bags over your head because you can suffocate, they have to put a label on everything. See what I mean?
So when they walk into a plastic, have you been?
They're taking the rights away from the parents instead of making the parents be parents instead of trying to be their pals or whatever. Like me, I mean, my parents, I was afraid of my parents. I mean, I loved them, but my mom told me when we got home, I wasn't getting my ass beat. I didn't want to go home because I knew I was going to get a whooping. And that's the way it should be. You should be a kind of afraid of your parents and knowing that you did something wrong, you're going to be punished for it. We have a whole society now where people just do whatever they want. They beat people in the street. They take things from people that they know doesn't belong to them. They steal, and we do nothing. We just let them steal. We let them beat people, and they don't have, there's no repercussions for all the bad things they do. If you go and you get a job and then you get a place to live and you get a vehicle to drive back and forth to work, but you never change the oil in your vehicle and you don't pay the rent, and you don't pay the car payment, right? What happens? They come and they take your car or they kick you out. And if you have money in the bank, but you keep writing hot checks, how long before they're not going to let you write any more checks? But we do it every day with the government. They can write $1 billion of checks. We're trillions of dollars in debt. Where's the money going to come from to pay the debt? And when is the bank going to say, hey, we want our money? Right. When is that going to happen? What happens to us when somebody decides they want the money that we owe them? You see what I mean? why aren't we living like that? Why are we just letting the government just keep writing blank checks for stuff that it's our kids, our great grandchildren aren't even born yet, and they're already in debt.
Right.
But nobody thinks about that shit. I just don't understand.
All
I
right.
wish I did understand, but I don't. And why are those people in the government supposedly college graduates and they're so smart? They all went to the best colleges and stuff, but they don't have any common sense to tell you, hey, let's quit spending this money. We don't have it. I just don't get any of it. I wish somebody could explain it to me. But go ahead, Bruce. I'm sorry. I went on a tangent.
It's all right. The climate czar, John effing Kerry, on Thursday angrily lashed out at so-called climate change deniers and accused people who dared question the settled science of being in a dangerous cult. This type of dehumanizing language should be condemned. John Kerry made the remarks in Edinburgh, Scotland, where he had to fly to, at the Signet Library on Thursday. He flew all the way to the UK to lecture the peasants on the climate crisis. Without facts or economics on their side, they flatly deny what is happening to our planet and what we must do to save it. And right after I say that, I'm going back to my jet to go get ice cream. Kerry continued. They incite a movement against what they falsely label climate change fanaticism, as they conveniently forget that the dictionary definition of a cult is a dismissal of facts and devotion to a lie. They lashed out at the truth tellers instead of the label indisputable evidence as hysteria, Kerry added. John Kerry said the climate change deniers are a danger to humanity. Well, at least they're not a danger to democracy. John Kerry flies over the world in private jets while lecturing peasants on virtues of making sacrifices to help curb climate change.
Mm-hmm.
He defended taking a gas-guzzling private jet to accept the Arctic Circle Award in Iceland for 2019. If you offset your carbon, it's the only choice for somebody like me who's traveling the world to win this battle, Kerry said. John Kerry offsets his carbon by owning several large mansions and a private jet.
Mm-hmm. And those mansions have like 5, heat pumps or whatever those things are called. So it must be nice to be able to do all that. And we're paying for it. Ridiculous.
So that's story number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't want to watch Victor react. Sorry. Ashley Babbitt, we hardly do ye. Okay. Officer Mike Bird, who shot and killed Ashley Babbitt in cold blood inside the U.S. Capitol, is promoted to captain. Hey, guys, remember when I was bitching about the IRS and how in 2022 the IRS had more negligent discharges with firearms than actual discharges with firearms? Remember that? Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's a guy that would fit right in with the cucks at the IRS. Meet Metro City Police piece of shit, Mike Bird, captain. Now, in July of 2021, the Gateway Pundit was first to confirm that Lieutenant Mike Bird was Ashley Babbitt's killer. He killed Ashley Babbitt in cold blood on January 6th inside the U.S. Capitol. Another woman and Trump supporter, Roseanne Boyland, was killed by Capitol Police outside the U.S. Capitol. Her body was then dragged through the U.S. Capitol. She was gunned down in cold blood while in the U.S. Capitol. She was 98 pounds and posed no threat, had no weapons. Mike Bird also had the habit of leaving his gun loaded in Capitol restrooms. U.S. Capitol police officer walks out of the bathroom without his pistol and now is under review as of the 28th of 2019, February. He reportedly is under review Thursday for some leaving his Glock 22 pistol inside the bathroom of the structure's visitor center earlier this week. He forgot to take the weapon with him upon leaving the restroom Monday, and it was found during a routine security sweep later in the day, officers told Roll Call. The department takes these matters very seriously and has a very thorough process to investigate and review incidents such as these. You are now on double secret probation. Actually, following the investigation's conclusion, appropriate actions will be taken in accordance with the department's official policies and procedures. This was Mike. This was Mike. This is a guy that they wanted to promote real fast at the chain, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So anyway, he walks free, and she was only an American patriot and Trump supporter.
Mm-hmm.
She died. Yeah. So I thought you guys might want to know that he was promoted to captain.
Yeah, but more than one person died that day, and they made it out like those people were the ones that were going to kill a bunch of people, which they didn't. And there's people still sitting in jail because of it from that one day. It's events that nothing happened. Besides people doing a tour. Most of them walked inside the ropes. You know, it's just, the whole thing is ridiculous. But just like I keep saying is, the Constitution is only worth the paper it's written on if we have judges and courts that are willing to protect it. But we don't right now. We don't have judges that care about the Constitution or care about our rights. So we might as well not even have a Constitution. So until we make them uphold the laws, we're not going to win. There's no way to win. And Obama had 8 years in office to set up as many federal judges as they could. That you could pack. They stacked the deck. Yeah, pack the courts, stack the deck on against us, against American citizens. And you know, when you got a Supreme Court justice that can't even tell you what a woman is,
No.
and she's a woman.
Angie Brown Jackson.
Oh
Yeah, so you know what does that say for our country? I mean, this woman is going to be on there until she dies. Okay.
That could be rather short because her health is not in good shape.
Well, I know, but it may not be. She might live to be 100 for all we know. What I'm saying is, we have someone that can't even tell you what a woman is when she was interviewed about it. She couldn't say what a woman was. All you got to say is something like, a woman is a humanoid that can get pregnant and give birth because she has a uterus. I mean, something that simple. That's all she had to say, but she couldn't even say that because she didn't want to hurt somebody's feelings.
No.
Okay, feelings over the law is just stupid. I mean, I don't know. It just bothers me. All this bothers me because all I want is to have my America. That's it. I want to have my country where people are free to own a home, to get a job, fall in love, have a family, have a bank account, have a garden if they want, a dog, a cat, whatever it is. They have the right to be able to go out and get it. Or they can be single and sit at home and jack off every day, eat Cheetos and watch porn, if that's what they want to do. I don't care, but they should have the right to do it. You know what I'm saying? That's what our government is supposed to be doing for us, but they're not. They're doing everything except letting us be free. They're putting handcuffs on every single person. You can't even defend your children from teachers at school. And you're the one paying the teachers' salaries. I mean, it's just gotten so crazy. I just don't know what are we going to do? I mean, I would love for somebody to send me messages on my Discord or on my Twitter or my Instagram or anything that I'm on and send me suggestions on what we could do to save our country.
That's exactly what I'm doing. The same thing. I really want to know because again, for me, it's like, okay, I want to sign. If I got a job somewhere, it'd probably be remote. Then I can go anywhere. Then I would I would travel somewhere and go there and then get to know the place. If I like it, I don't. If I don't, go on somewhere else. Or if
Mhm.
somebody's out there who says, Ruben, let's do this together, and then we do it together. And you have a purpose to go somewhere, because I'm just trying to search. But it's about finding your future. That's the best
Mhm.
thing to do, is basically we can't let the negativity happen. We need to fight on. We have to fight on. We have to find out. And that's why I basically say, if there's a place like, we already know, like, California's going to collapse, New York's going to collapse.
Mhm.
Illinois may go down the same way. And then where are the places to go? Montana, Missouri, Tennessee Valley, Arkansas area, because again, you got to look at it. Where is the traditional family still important? It's important
I
in
mean, so
Arkansas.
what can we do? Can we call the National Guard out in your state and have the National Guard guard your state lines so that
Yes,
people can't come to your state
you could do
unless
that.
they get permission? Stuff
You
like
could
that.
do that. You could do that. Because again, they're going to do it to us. Think about what's going to happen. Because Alex Jones called it about the mask mandates coming back. If they
Mhm.
basically say, if Gavin Newsom, you don't think he would close off California to save the people and just say it's in your own best interest?
Mhm.
That's
Yeah, I thought
insane.
you. Sorry.
But the same thing will happen, where Texas should on their own say, screw this, we're closing the border down now. Boom. You come across, you're out. But again, they we have to address the problem we have right now. The problems that you know we're not talking. We're just, it's people are too afraid to do anything, or people are out there just protesting. It's just, we got to start acting. And that's why,
See, that's what I do. I work the polls. I try to get people to register to vote, things like that. I do volunteer stuff. I mean,
right.
I've volunteered
Yeah.
at Salvation Army, and I've cleaned shelves and mopped floors and organized clothes and do, that kind of stuff. Just because I was able to do that. I was able to, take one day a week and go volunteer and do something. I'd pick a place to go volunteer. I might work at the animal shelter one day, watering, brushing dogs or whatever else, because all of us can do that. I mean, to me, a person that's on, like, let's say a person's on welfare, okay, or they're on disability because, for whatever it is, depending on their disability, can they read to children? Can they go to a nursing home and read books to other patients that are bedridden? I mean, there's stuff, but see, it's not a torture to me. To me, it's giving them something to do.
Yeah, they should have like a kindergarten next to an old
Something
folks
to
home.
do to earn their keep, so that they feel needed. It's not just that they're nothing, that here's your check and stay in your house and stay out of everybody's way. Hey, here's the jobs that we have. We need this, and this done. Which one would you like to do? And for doing this, you're going to get this check every week.
But that's
Make them
done.
feel like they're worth something.
But that's done at the city level, or sorry, it should be done at city level. Because here's a threat. The level is like, I need to take care of myself and take care of me. Then it's going to be my house and my things. Then it's going to be my street and my neighborhood. It's supposed to be grassroots, starting from the bottom up. But right now, you get corporations get involved. You get people who say, "Well, it should be this across the nation. It should be all blanketing," and saying they want the 15-minute city because they live in downtown New York. They live in LA. Everything I have is right here. Why can't you do that? And it's like they don't see anything. It's totally disconnected. Totally different.
If a group of people want to live in a 15-minute city, I don't see a problem with that either. As long as I'm not forced to have to live there. People are doing it now. You're living in, what are those things communities called, where you have to get permission to put a flag up or plant a tree?
Oh, HOAs.
Okay, there you go. Homeowners associations, where you got a group of people that buy houses and they have a wall around it or whatever, and they have a gate where you have to have a key or a person there to check your cars or whatever to go through there, and you're only allowed to do certain things. Well, those people chose to buy a house there, and they should have the right to live that way if they want, which I have no problem with. But I don't think that any state or any person has the right to tell everyone They have to do it any more than I did about the shots or anything. I don't think that anybody should be forced into doing anything against their will if that's not what they want. And that's what cracks me up. You got all these people that ran around wearing the vagina hats and stuff, saying my body, my life, whatever, they should have my choice, but when it comes to the jab, you got to take it. It's like, what happened? I don't want the shot, but I have to get it. You're going to put me in a gulag and chain me up because I don't want to get a shot, but you're allowed to abort a baby, or you're allowed to do this or that. See, to me, it doesn't make any sense. Why is one side allowed to make all the rules and the other side has to just be compliant, or they're the cult? You see? See, it doesn't make, it's not this, it's just nuts. I mean, to me, it's nuts. I don't understand any of it. It's not rational in any form.
Yes.
And these are supposed to be smart people. I mean, they're not smart.
Well,
I don't care how many books or how many.
well, here's what I'll say. They're smarter than the average person. Because again, as we said before, 30 to 35% of people are asleep. These people are just people who can control. They know this 30, 35 thing will think a certain way, and they basically push everything to do it. The media, what you consume, what you watch on television, what you see on your news, all of the actors, actresses, influencers, everything is orchestrated to you to buy, consume, and just be asleep.
Yep.
And then again, you have to fight against it. Yes, exactly.
Over there, you're bad. Go get in it.
Dead fish.
Yeah, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm actually looking for Zion.
Exactly.
I want to find a place to go, and I guess that's why I was basically saying that. I don't know. Are there like, going to answer your question, like prepper communities, prepping areas you can go, Idaho, Montana, Colorado, Arkansas, wherever. That's what I'm looking for. Because again, and basically, hey, what can you do? Everything. I can teach. I can, do gardening and all that. That's what I'm gonna do. Start doing that, and then I can help with power and electrical and all that crap. Just doing that type of thing and being part of a family. That's what. And again, it's the people will say it's a cultish thing, but you're trying to go to simply life. Because again, everything right now, from your phone to your TV, is a listening device.
Yeah, but what's funny is that some of the people that are pointing the finger at people, like on Twitter or X, whatever you call it, that say that you're a cult because you think that Trump's great. Okay, but what's funny is all the people at the rallies and stuff, they all go back home to their jobs. Some of them are farmers, some of them are lawyers, some are doctors, some are nurses, some are this, that, and the other, school teachers. I mean, it just goes on and on and on, right? And they all some live in middle income, some live in trailers, some live in a 2-story house, some live in a huge apartment complex. They're all different types of people like Trump, okay? But they're a cult. You see what I mean? It doesn't fit. Most people in a cult are like in the same genre of things. They all do the same thing. They have the same rituals and things like that. So it just same thing that they're doing with the word Nazi. Okay, because I am white and I like Trump, then I must be a Nazi.
Yeah.
I mean, they just throw words around like nothing, but they don't mean the same thing anymore.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. And the thing is that, yeah, I'm just remembering growing up how it was. Again, I did never follow the flow. I couldn't do it, and I was ridiculed and mocked for that because again, but I held my ground and never wavered on the things I do. I don't do anything. I do the most extreme things only, basically things that that's my thing. And I'm not an ordinary. I haven't done ordinary, and I'm trying to ordinary now for the first time. Because again, up until 2021, I never talked to a guy in my life that I needed that as a confidant or anything. Never did. There's no point. I just basically did business work and all that stuff. That's all I did. People I associate with women all the time. Women was everything. And now I'm basically trying to branch out and do more of the things. So changing my life. What happened?
Uh-oh. I don't know. What happened?
Who knew?
Oh, Bruce said his computer is updating.
Oh,
That's what I clicked on. I clicked on the private chat, and my voice is getting scratchy.
oh no.
It's my allergies are kicking in,
Oh no.
and it makes me get stuffy and all that stuff. But it's been over 2.5
Yes,
hours,
yes.
so
We should stop.
maybe we should give it up because my voice is about to go away. But I want to say thank you to everybody that showed up, and we got to talk about some really cool stuff. Some was good news, some of it wasn't so good. But I think that everything they're doing and trying to get rid of Trump is backfiring. At least that's what it looks like to me. It looks like it's making more people look at Trump differently than they did last election.
Mhm.
That makes sense.
It does.
But I want to say thank you to everybody that came tonight. We love doing this. I love getting to be with Ruben and Bruce hanging out. It's been great. But I'm about to start having a coughing fit and sneezing fit, I think. But thank you so much, and hope to see you guys next week.
Take care.
So you guys have a great weekend and enjoy yourselves.
God.